Chat, we are here for one thing today, and that is to make YouTube content. Do not forget it. We are not here to play the best that we can so that we can teach you how to play the game. We are here to play the best that we can so that we can make a banger YouTube video so that Andrew can get paid and so that people will then come over to the Twitch channel and that I will get paid. And that in and of itself is the greatest YouTube business decision and most intellectual thing we can possibly do.
Has officially been given the Twitch chat seal of awesome content that you should come and watch the stream.
I didn't before today decide what class that I wanted to do the over-explained run on. We've done it on silent multiple times, and they've all been unsuccessful to get on YouTube just because the run was pretty shit. But we could do the Defect, we could do the Iron Man. Not doing the Watcher, only because I'm not Ascension 20 yet. I haven't put thousands of hours into her, so I'm not smart enough, I would say. I am not intellectually fit enough in order to get there. All right, a lot of people are saying Defect. Most people are saying Defect over the Ironclad, so... All right, we'll do the Defect. Defect is a guy, when you start with him, obviously because I'm on Ascension 20, I'm going to start with less HP, not going to start with max HP. You do get Cracked Core, which lets you start off with 1 Lightning at the beginning of every turn if you don't trade your Boss Relic, which I would say for the sake of this, we're probably not going to trade our Boss Relic just because I want to go over the strengths of the Defect, where he has... a lot of really good early game, like literally just 1 mana, 16 damage from dual cast is fucking crazy good. It is absolutely fucking fantastic. And so his early game power is usually very, very high, but it oftentimes does come from spells. So you need to be wary of that going into things like our Gremlin Nob. Just as like a general consensus of the over-explained runs, if you notice the title of the stream, it says over-explained run from a dumb player. I'm not the smartest guy, but chat's always asking me to actually take the game seriously. So I, being the smart guy that I am, dressed up in smarter clothes. I'm taking things seriously, chat. I am the professor that is all about sex appeal. Let us go in. You start out with 99 gold in your money pouch. At Ascension 20, obviously you don't start with max HP or maximum the 75 HP that the standard Defect starts with if you're not playing on an Ascension. Again, you have this Orby that gives you 1 Lightning Orb at the beginning of every fight that is extremely powerful in dealing damage to the early game foes. Now, let's talk maps. Let's talk looking at the map, chat. What to know on Act 1. The first 3 fights that you find, the first 3 fights that you take will be easy fights. Those are going to be your 1 Cultist. Those are going to be your Jawworm. Those are going to be your 2 Louse. Things like that. Very, very simple, easy. Usually minimal HP lost in the fights. In Ascension 20, you might take like 2 to 7 damage is usually a pretty understandable amount depending on the RNG that you have. And then you're going to get into your harder fights after you see your first 3 fights. Even if you see a fight in a question mark room, that still counts. After those first 3 fights, you're going to start seeing your Slavers, your Thieves, your Louse plus Jawworm, your various things that can be more and more dangerous that are upsetting. I have a dog putting his paws on me because he very much would like to be a part of the stream. Is it that the first 3 fights are easy or the first 3 floors are easy? First 3 fights. So if you were to go this path, for instance, and you didn't see any fights, and then you get this, let's say we get the 1 HP elite, right? The next fight that you see is still going to be an easy fight. So technically right now, if I had the option to take 1 HP stuff, I could get through 2 elites at 1 HP, he would be full HP, and then this would be my second easy fight, my third easy fight, and then I would get to hard fights. So you could literally get through an act without any hard fights. Once again, I have an eager student wanting to learn. But yeah, so the first 3 fights that you take are going to be those easy fights. That's usually, just a general tip, right? This is just a general tip. This is not a lesson to live by because there's different starts, right? You might hit your whale bonus and you might get the 1 HP elite, and that allows you to go a more risky route you get Niao's Lament, which gives you the first 3 fights at 1 HP. That gives you a little bit more gusto to go for a riskier path. That's understandable. You could be the Ironclad, take a random rare card, get Immolate. You want to take a risk or a more elite heavy path. But just a general tip on your standard run, a usual good thing to do is take 2 to 3 fights, right? Because your potion chance starts out at 40%. So let's say you take 2 fights, you you have a decent enough chance, right? You don't see it in the first fight. It goes up to 50% chance. You might see a potion in the second fight. That potion might give you the eligibility to take on an elite. But 2 to 3 of those easy fights is really good to plan on taking before you get to your first elite. Because again, in those easy fights, you're not going to be taking a whole hell of a lot of damage, and it can give you a couple of cards that will set you up to be able to use your HP to defeat the elite and get a relic. Also, we got to talk about rare card percentage, because rare card percentage is another thing. Again, I'm all over the place. I'm one of those teachers that's going to have 87 of the chalkboards that like roll out from under them, and I'm just going to pull out a new one and start jotting down nonsense. It's all going to be on the test, Peepo G's in chat. When you go into any sort of a card reward, now this card reward can be a card reward from your whale bonus, from the fights. It can be from it can literally be actually taking the 3 potions from your whale bonus counts as a rare, it ups your rare percentage. Your rare percentage starts at -2%. -2% of seeing a rare card. Every single time that you see a common card, it goes up by 1%. Uncommons doesn't matter at all. Then once you see a rare card, it resets it. It goes back down to -2%, right? So the likelihood of you seeing a rare card and then seeing another rare card immediately after, very low. But elites, though, triple your rare percentage. Are all those percentages same across all ascension levels? No, I don't think so. I think that's an Ascension 20 thing. I think it's a lot easier to see rare cards on lower Ascensions. Oh, no, it's upgraded cards appear less. You can see that at Ascension 12. But is -2 not ×3, not -6? I'm not sure, actually, Funky Music, whether or not it increases your... like, it just takes whatever your percentage is at and multiplies it. You know Lost Gift? The little thing that says triples your rare percentage? That doesn't actually triple your rare percentage. Or it triples your chance to see rare cards. It doesn't actually just automatically do that. What it does is if you get a 1% increase from seeing non-rare cards, you now get a 3% increase from seeing a common card, right? So it triples the amount. So I don't know if taking an elite just takes whatever your rare percentage is at and doubles it, or if it says whenever you see a common card, it gives you a 2% increase instead of a 1% increase. Does that make sense? Either way, it's a lot of fucking information. I'm just kind of word vomiting whatever I know about the game, and hopefully you absorb some of this information. General consensus is take a couple of fights. Fights are good. Fights are good, and here's why fights are good. Fights allow you to see more cards. Thank you for subscribing. Which are phenomenal, so that you can use those cards in order to defeat things. Right? You could use those cards to be able to defeat things. It increases your chances of seeing rare cards, which can increase your chance of defeating things. It increases your chance to see potions, which can increase your chance of being able to defeat things. So fights are pretty fucking good, right? I know a lot of us are always like, dude, I'm going to go like 17 question marks every single floor. And then you don't understand, or you don't understand why you continuously die every single time by the time you get to the Act 2 boss, right? It's probably because you're playing way too fucking passively, because you're relying on events to give you poggy-ass things. Usually taking a couple of early fights into an elite is just a general, roundabout, decent way to think about things. It's not always going to be the be-all, end-all. A lot of times, depending on what you get a really weak start. You might want to be like, all right, I want to go this way, right? Take these. Let's say none of these are fights. This is your third easy fight. You're going to get to upgrade 2 cards here because you're not going to lose enough HP in order to be able to get, like really hurt yourself. My mouse just died. 1 second. And then you're going to go with 2 upgraded cards and 3 easy fights under your belt, a relic to boot, and you're going to take this elite, and then you're going to get to here and decide whether or not you can take on another elite, right? So it's all depending. There's different paths for different every single run, but just a general good idea is 3 good fights, 3 easy fights into an elite, or into a campfire, into an elite, into a campfire. And it all depends, again, on what comes out. The biggest tip that I can give you to take away from playing Slay the Spire is play to what you are doing next. Not, oh, does this thing really fucking do well in my deck? In my overall archetype that I'm trying to build? Yes. But does it help you get to the point that you can be that archetype, right? I think a good example was the run that I uploaded on Tuesday, where I took a glass knife over taking a Wraithform. Is Wraithform Poggy Woggy, and do I want to take it in every deck? Obviously. Wraithform's Poggy Woggy. We just said that. It's Poggy Woggy. Why do I have to repeat myself? This is fucking annoying. But right then, I needed front-loaded damage. We were scaling fine, because we had a shuriken to scale our strength. We had an accuracy in our deck to scale our shivs, but we needed something to just murder someone right out of the gate so we don't take incoming 17 damage on turn 1 if I don't draw my Wraith Form, right? And Wraith Form puts you on that clock, and if I don't scale fast enough, I'm fucked. So I needed to play for what I was doing next, and that was taking the Glass Knife. And so when you know, let's say we take this path and we get to here, and then I get to here, and like, I'm feeling fucking healthy. I've got 2 great fucking potions, and I'm feeling fucking good. I got through my first easy fights just owning, and I'm like close to full HP. I've got some shit that's just gelling. Maybe going this way and taking a couple of extra fights, increasing my rare percentage, maybe grabbing an even better potion to be able to handle an elite, and then going into a double, triple elite route, maybe is the way to go, instead of going this way that's a little bit safer. Because in Act 1, the question marks tend to be things that will allow you to remove cards. A lot of things in Act 1, though, you gotta realize, is Act 1 events tend to hurt you. Right? You're taking damage in order to get money. Taking damage in order to move a card. You spin the wheel, you're taking damage. You're taking 20-something damage to upgrade a bunch of cards. Taking damage in order to get the golden idol, right? A lot of damage comes into that. So sometimes question marks aren't super good right before an elite. It's always thinking about exactly what I need to do next if you want the greatest chance of winning. Let's now look at, finally, after a little bit, let's look at our whale bonuses. Every single time that you get a whale bonus, there's always going to be 2 easy ones that don't really affect you in terms of, you know, taking away your gold, giving you a curse, affecting you in any sense negatively. But a random rare card, right? It could give you something like Echo Form, which could be a curse in your deck early, but could make you pop off later, or it could give you Meteor Strike. And that's something that needs to be taken into account. 3 enemies in combat, 1 HP. It's a great one, but it's oftentimes a bait. And let me explain why. If I were to go this way, like we talked about, right, and let's say that this would be a 10% chance of a fight, 20% chance of a fight, 30% chance of a fight, 40% chance of a fight. The chances of us getting through there are decent. Even if we pivot this way and guarantee that we don't get a fight here, the chances that we get there, like 66-something% or some shit like that, 60% of a time, 60% of the time, this is not a fight, or we get this as our second fight, and then we could get this HP at 1 HP too. But then you're halfway through Act 1. And yeah, you got 2 relics that might be good, but you've at most added 3 cards to your deck, and you're halfway through the act. But it's fun, don't get me wrong. Getting that, like, the little boner from getting to that 1 HP elite, knowing that maybe you're going to get a second one, it's poggy. But if you're going to go this route, right, and this is a fight, don't maul about it. Don't maul about it. Because now you're getting an extra chance to see cards, to see potions, to see good things that are going to eventually help you defeat Slime Boss. Because Slime Boss is a fucking bullshit motherfucker, but he's got a cute hat. We need to respect that. Couldn't you take 1 HP to get easy fights and get 3 cards? Yes! And that is what I was going to talk about, is a lot of times taking the 1 HP can be really fucking good. Like this is a triple elite route, right? Like, going this way, you get 3 elites with a bunch of campfires sprinkled in. It might actually be better to go something like this, right? Try to get 1 HP elite and then move along, but you get a little bit extra juice. Even going something like this, maybe. Obviously, getting a 1 HP elite is fucking poggy. Don't get me wrong. But you just got to think about how far up am I in the act. Like, for instance, if I went like this, let's say that this guy was an elite, right? And I was like, all right, I'm going to go boom, 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 boom. And I get the 1 HP elite. You're halfway through the fucking act, man. You've gotten 1 elite, and you, like, what is your deck 100% gonna win? Yeah. Am I gonna over-explain every card as well? Yep, this is an over-explained run. My voice will hurt. Lose all gold, remove 2 cards. Removing 2 cards is interesting. Most of the time, you'll see content creators removing strikes, right? Because strikes, a lot of cards that you're gonna take early in the run are just strikes, but upgraded. Ball Lightning, Cold Snap, Compile Driver, Melter. A lot of the cards that you're going to see and want to take early in order to defeat elites are strikes that deal more damage than a strikes and do a little bit more, right? They have a little bit of a on top of them, because smorking at early elites is obviously good. We might know that. So when you're thinking about removing 2 cards, err on the side of caution, I would say. Know that your strikes are going to help you a lot in defeating early fights, and thinning out your deck from all of your attacks against the Cultist, which scales infinitely, against the Jawworm, which scales infinitely, maybe not be the best idea. Making your deck thinner so that when you put better cards in it is a great idea, right? So I would say if you're going to do the remove 2 card option, strike and a defend is usually better. because you're still giving the same amount of chance, kind of, to seeing that same type of card, right? Early in the run. So I would just say getting rid of a strike early is great, but if you're wanting to do remove 2 cards, unless you've already added something to your deck, which you're not going to be doing at the whale bonus, strike and a defend will still thin out your deck, give you that juice that you want. Also, taking a boss relic, we could talk about the boss relic swap as well. Boss relic swap can give you some poggy, it can give you something shitty. The thing is that you have to consider is what are you losing, right? On the silent, you're losing starting with 2 extra cards on turn 1, which is a crazy good passive that I think a lot of people underestimate. It's really good. On the Ironclad, you're losing 6 HP at the end of every fight, which early on in your run matters a lot, but later on in your run, Act 3 really doesn't mean a whole lot. So, usually I would say that trading your boss relic is very okay on any of the classes. Honestly, all of the classes are really fucking good at trading boss relics, because boss relics are usually good, will usually make your deck a lot better in the short term, because a lot of things just give you energy, right? And just 4 energy against any enemy is usually pretty fucking good. Just being able to do more on every turn is usually just pretty fucking good. Pandora's Box even usually pretty good, because most cards are better than strike and defend. But you also have to remember that you're losing consistency, right? How many runs have you played with Cracked Core and just going through the beginning fights and just using dual cast to annihilate things? You're losing that consistency. So it does give you a little bit of an out of the box thinking. The early power from, especially with the Defect, the Cracked Core, is nuts. This is so much fucking damage. I mean, literally, it's 3 damage a turn if you never touch anything, and that's a lot. Infinite. It's a billion. It could be a billion, technically. Any questions at this point? I'm going to now open up the floor to some questions. Is going for maximum elites fights ever a good idea? Yeah, so I think that going for elites is usually, I mean, you obviously want elites, right? There's the old saying that Ascension 1, which makes elites spawn more often, is easier than Ascension 0. Because elites, again, they give you a chance at better cards with the rare percentage doubling. They also give you a relic, which is nuts. They are just harder fights, but you got to remember that your health is a resource, just like everything else. So using your HP in order to make your deck function later on in the game is definitely good. Going for a fuck ton of elites is smart most of the time. It's just it's just having that alternative path and knowing when it's time to tap out. And so I would in this map right here, I would recommend going for this triple elite path. Right? I would 100% recommend going for it. Because if you make it through, your deck's going to be cracked. Whereas if you go this way, right, you're going to get maybe 2 elites, the same amount of campfires. But right here, this is like a little bit of a dodgy point where you might get 2 really hard fights here and then not be able to take that elite. And then you only get 1 elite. And then your act kind of sucks. Whereas here, you might go limping into the boss fight, but you're going to be a bad bitch by the time that you get there. Which act do you think is the best to take the Burning Elite on? Usually Act 1 and 3, I would say. Act 2 is usually fairly dangerous. The Burning Elites, the stuff that they get increases later on, right? So in Act 1, they might only heal for 3, whereas in Act 3, they're going to heal for like 6 to 8, right? They're going to heal for a lot more. So it's obviously harder the later that you go, but I think that the Act 2 elites tend to be the most punishing level of elites. So adding on extra stuff to them is usually Monka-esque. But hey, sometimes you just get that cracked deck. I think that going for the Burning Elite is like, if you're not going to go for it Act 1, you're just going to know when it's time to take it. And most of the time, it's just going to be Act 3 of like, all right, I guess I got to go this way. That's the only bad thing about not taking not getting a good path that has the Burning Elite on it early, is that Act 3, sometimes you just like show up to Act 3 and you're like, wow, this right path is really, really strong. I can't wait to, the Burning Elite is all the way to the left and I have to go through 75 fights in order to get there, and he's the only elite on the path, no campfires, no shops, no nothing. And then it's just kind of pain that you're forced to go down this one route. What's the weird elite thing with the sparkles? Yeah, so the weird elite thing with the sparkles is that's the Burning Elite that people are talking about. That elite is going to be an elite that will have more max HP, or might have more strength, or it might have some plated armor or some metallicized armor. So at the end of its turn, it blocks for a certain amount. It's just an elite that's harder, and when you defeat it, you get one piece of the trinity of key pieces that will allow you to fight the heart, which is Act 4. To get to the heart, you have to take, instead of taking a relic at a chest, you have to take the blue key, and instead of doing anything at the campfire, you have to take the red key. And then once you get all 3 of the keys, you get to go on to the Act 4. The way that I look at the whale rewards as well is these first 2 options, a lot of the times, when you're new to the game, you'll find yourself picking. And then this option right here is for people who are very experienced in the game and like that risk versus reward playstyle, and this is for people who are batshit insane or really know what they're doing. Last option is YouTube. You'll find that I take this a lot. I also will take the enemies in your combats have 1 HP, and the YouTube in me wants to go get these 2 elites at 1 HP, and I'm gonna be so sad when I don't do it. When you go for an early shop just with lots of money, or if I got like a card here and then I got this to be a fight, right? And then this wasn't a fight, I would go there regardless of whether this was, I wanted the 1 HP elite or not, because at that point, if I got 2 really good cards, I don't want to strike anymore, right? I don't want another card in my deck anymore. I need to be able to draw my good cards more often. And so shops are very powerful for removing cards. I'm going to do something stupid. It's just because removing 2 cards, you can, I think that this might be more detrimental to our deck if we were not to get good cards going into our first elite fight. Because I'm looking at this saying, I want to take this triple elite path, possibly 4 elites, right? And removing 2 cards and then the possibility of not getting anything good all the way up to this first elite is very terrifying. And this is like 100% chance that this is a 1 HP elite, and this is like a 60% chance that this is a 1 HP elite. So I think that this is actually in our favor to do. And it's fine if it's only the first one that's a 1 HP elite. But let us go. Very easy. You always get gold, and then you get a card reward. Usually taking cards early on in the game that are just those upgraded strikes that they can then transition into making your deck better later in the game is usually good. So Cold Snap is the card that immediately catches my eye. Hologram, again, gain 3 block and then put a card from your discard pile back into your hand. Usually not the best early because that requires a lot of mana to play with. Also, when it's unupgraded, right, this doesn't block for a lot, and it also exhausts. So it's pretty shitty unupgraded, and usually is a priority of something that I would like to upgrade. Same thing with Barrage. You usually want to upgrade this card, and is also only good when you have a lot of orb cards. And without a lot of orb cards, you really don't fucking give a shit. So it's pretty fucking easy for us to look at Cold Snap here and say that that's really good for our deck to give us permanent 2 block every single turn, 5 block when we evoke the orb. Yeah. I think that Cold Snap is just the way to go here. Again, Hologram, great fucking card, but just a little bit weak early game. And again, you want to look for a couple of upgraded strikes in order to be able to deal with Gremlin Nob. It's Gremlin Nob. Most of the elites, honestly, is kind of like deal more deal. Act 1 elites are usually deal enough damage to them that they die before they deal enough damage to kill you. So let's take Cold Snap. This, by the way, that was a 10% chance of it being an elite. Also, we had a 40% chance of seeing potions in that fight, which is now increased to 50% chance. And also, this event right here does count as a card reward for our rare percentage, so we have an increased rare percentage. I don't know how much it is, particularly. And I also think this resets our potion percentage back down to 40%. I'm not exactly sure, but I think it does. Puts it back down to 40%. But we get 2 potions, and that's great. This is a 20% chance of being a fight, and it is a fight. That's fine. Again, we're okay with that. Increasing our chances to see rare cards again by seeing 2 non-rare cards. Heat Sinks is a great power once you kind of have your deck going along. Right now, it's not going to do a whole lot for us, so I wouldn't recommend putting it in your deck now. Claw is terrible. You'll see a lot of people in Claw saying Claw. Those are dumb people. Don't listen to them. We could take a leap here. A general rule of thumb for the defect in the early act is, take a lot of things that are going to make your deck more powerful in terms of dealing damage, and then take 1 really good block card. And that could be an upgraded leap, that could be a glacier, that could be a charged battery, a lot of different things. Act 1 leap is very hard to pass up. That's what I'm thinking right now, is with our potions being able to help us out with HP and dealing damage, I'm inclined to take this leap here. But And I'm also inclined to take this leap because we are going to need a card to upgrade at this campfire. And it's either going to be Zap if we don't have anything else to upgrade, but I'm most likely looking at that leap. Why is Claw bad? Because again, early in the game, you want to be using the most amount of your cards to be able to deal a large amount of damage. And Claw is a very late game thing, so it takes a long time to build up. Anyways, we're going to take this leap. And now this is, because we saw a fight here, this has been reset. Now it's down to 20, or back down to 10% chance of this being a fight. We get the Golden Idol event, which you get the Golden Idol, makes enemies drop 25% more gold. Usually just want to take this one, because at the very least, you can just sacrifice your max HP, which doesn't affect anything that you're currently doing. But remember that max HP will make things that do HP stuff less in the future. So if you get stabbed, if you have less max HP and you get stabbed at the wheel event, the roulette event, it's less because you have less max HP. If you rest at a campfire, it'll be less healing because you'll have less max HP. All of those things need to be taken into account. You could even, and this is something to consider, is take this injury, because then if we go to the shop, we could remove that card and then continue on. But we need to remember what our goal was. And our goal is to go to this shop and use this shop to add a card to our deck. So if we use half of our money or over half of our money in order to remove a card, the likelihood that we could buy a strong card is lower. So I think that I'm going to take the 7 max HP. If you take the curse and then go remove it at the shop, all power to you. I'm going to go with the max HP. We are going to get 1 HP elite now. We come into the shop looking for something powerful, looking for something that's going to rock our socks in terms of dealing with stuff. Not seeing anything super duper incredible. Melter is on sale, so I'm honestly inclined to take that just because it's on sale. Loop isn't going to do a whole lot for us. It's something to upgrade at a campfire, but this on-sale Melter, I think, is going to help us out in future elite fights just by being an extra bit of damage. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And it's a decent attack. It will remove all block and whatever, but it's not amazing. It's not super bad. Does shops affect your rare percentage? I'm not exactly sure on that, actually. Here we get an oddly smooth stone, so we start each fight with 1 dex. That means all of our block cards are now going to block for 1 more. That's great since we took the leap. Oddly smooth stone is fantastic. And we come across Skim, Chill, and Melter again. I don't really want a second Melter. A Skim can be great in order to look for cards that we really, really want to play. Always be keeping the boss that you're going to fight in mind. Chill is awesome, right? We just took the Gremlin Nob fight, which means this elite has a 50% chance of being the Sentries and a 50% chance of being the Lagavulin. Chill is going to be great against both of those, and the draw really isn't going to help us out until later on in the Sentries fight, where this is just amazing. So we're going to go ahead and take a Chill, because again, we've taken a couple of attacks. We didn't need much more. Coming to the campfire, we're full HP. We have a plan in mind. That was to upgrade the leap. Just make this card just beefy as fuck. It's going to block for 13 now with the oddly smooth stone. Another thing to upgrade can be your zap. And the thing with the zap upgrade is you're making a card that's bad be okay. That's the thing with zap, is you are making the zap go from being a ball lightning minus the 7 damage to a target down to a really good, a decent enough card to play later on in the game, versus making a good card great. So it's, do I want to make a bad card okay, or do I want to make a good card great? And I think that that's, yeah. How come I didn't remove a strike at the shop? Because I wanted the power of the strikes going into the elite fights, because I knew that we need some ways to deal damage to the elites. If you remove the strike there, cool. But we also have another shop coming up later on we can remove a strike at too. Come across the Lagavulin fight. So we think about the Lagavulin fight. Nighty night. Thank you for the 23 months, man. What up, Bubby? Welcome back. We think about the Lagavulin fight. The Lagavulin will sleep for 3 turns, and then after the 3rd turn, if you haven't dealt damage to him, he will awake, and then he'll deal his 20 damage, and then he'll debuff you. So he's a really good fight for you to be able to set up and do what you want to do preemptively. So leading with a chill cold snap could be a very solid way to wake him up, or we could look for possibly a zap, something a little bit better. We also have to take into account that we didn't play we didn't have leap in turn 1. So if we procced him this turn, if we opened up the fight this turn, we have a greater chance of being able to play leap on a more applicable turn. We also can play Melter on a more applicable turn to deal an extra bit of damage. So that's basically what our line of thinking is here. It's, do we want to be able to play leap on a better turn, or do we care more about playing Melter to be able to get a lot more damage on him? And I think that the damage matters a lot more when we're at full HP and we have some stuff to help us out. So I'm going to go ahead and play the chill so we get 2 block every turn. We're going to wait. So we did draw the leap here, which is not super good. But one thing to think about is we are going to draw the last cards of our deck next turn. And he's still not going to wake up. Which means then after that, the turn that he's awake for, we'll have reshuffled all of the cards in our deck. Won't have the curse anymore. And we'll have a good chance of drawing the leap on a turn that he's attacking. So that's very, very strong. I think that's okay. All right. Now we are going to zap. Use Melter first to remove his block, just like the card states. He awakes. Now he's going to start taking 6 damage every turn. What do we draw? We've got 12 block here. And then we've got 6 block plus evoking this, or 6 damage plus evoking this orb, adding another orb. It's just a fuck ton of block. Like, it's just nuts. The other options are to play your strikes, but then you got 20 damage incoming. Remember, we want to take this elite too, or we're going to have to take an elite before another campfire. So you got to keep your HP in mind. And that is a very strong amount of damage. We are blocking for more than we're dealing damage for. We can go ahead and use our leap here into a Melter because it's our most damaging attack. And now we have a choice here. We will block for another additional 4, which will put us at 17. Are we okay with taking 3 damage, or do we want to make sure that we block for enough? I think in this case, because we've got those frost orbs hanging around for a while, I think it's good to deal some damage here. If you break his block without dealing any damage, does he stay asleep? Yes. Yes, he does. All right, so here the turn is obvious. He's going to debuff you, so obviously you're going to play these 2 attacks. Now you have a decision to make. Do you want to play this zap here? It'll waste this 5 block, but you'll be able to deal a bunch more damage to him going forward. So this is where you got to start doing a little bit of math, right? If we deal 6 damage to him this turn, he's going to be... he's going to obviously take 6 damage. Peepo G in chat will be at 37 HP. We've got this explosive potion that we're willing to use right now, which will put him at 27 HP. This lightning orb will be in front, so if we were to draw something like a dual cast next turn, we could deal 16 damage to him, putting him at 11 HP, with a Melter that puts him down to 1 HP, with the second lightning orb that we created that puts him at 0. Seems pretty fucking good to me. We draw the dual cast. We use the dual cast. We go boom. We go bada bing, bada boom. We didn't use Melter. It's fine though. We didn't need to use Melter. We used one of our potions. We come out with a lot of HP, a little bit of gold, a Nunchaku, which is every time you play 10 attacks, gain an energy. Good shit. And garbage. We're going to take a sweeping beam here. AoE is always good to have. AoE is great, but we did not find a super lot of everything, but sweeping beam is good AoE. AoE is always good to have, and going into slime boss, it's a pretty good thing to have. And also cycle is great. We didn't find garbage, sorry, we found recycling. All right, and we do want the elite into the campfire, because if we take a bunch of damage to this, we can then rest before we take a fight, versus if we go this way, we would have to take 2 fights, which we might take a bunch of damage here, and then have a tough time with that. Then we have to rest. It's just it's a less complicated decision. Chests, when you look at them, there's the wooden chest, the tiny little one, the ice chest, and then there's the big one. All that symbolizes is the percentage chance that you have to see a rare relic. The bigger the chest, the higher your percentage is to see a rare relic. It's not always going to happen, but when you have something like Cursed Key, and you're like, damn, do I want to open this chest and get a relic? This can give you at least a little bit of an idea to whether I'm going to open up into a Poggy relic that's going to make my deck go to the moon or not. We get a pair, which is going to give us plus 10 max HP, which we've talked about max HP. It's Poggy. We're going to take that. Also remember that anytime you take max HP in the game, it will increase your current HP. So we almost got to 69, and that's nice. I'd give that an A+. Moving in, we find another Gremlin Nob fight, which could be a little bit dicey with the amount of spells that we've taken. We could go ahead and use our dual cast here to play a bunch of lightning orbs, or to deal 16 damage to him. But I think that the 3 damage plus a 16 damage later on to finish him off, it's a masturbation joke, that'll be on the test, is good. So leaving the lightning orb out to deal 3 passive damage now, then once we draw dual cast, we can get it for 16 damage. Just means that lightning orb will deal that much extra damage as the fight goes on. You could consider playing the regen pot here. It would be this turn that you would want to play it, but also remember that after he does, or when he does that little buffing thing after his turn 1, playing any spells will increase his strength. He's a man who doesn't like spells. He's a very smorky guy. But you got to remember that playing regen pot there, you would heal 5 that turn, which would put you at 72. And then 4 that turn would overheal you, which you wouldn't get the benefit of. So usually wanting to get the benefit of your stuff is good. Also, you want to kill Gremlin Nob within enough time that you don't use the full effectiveness of the potions. So yeah, smorking is usually pretty good in this fight. You could consider playing the zap here, but that would just give him more strength. And he's also going to vulnerable with us, so it just scales the strength even more. Going to go ahead and sweeping beam as we start this turn. See what we draw. We draw leap. Now, leap is a lot of block for just a little bit of strength, which, if we consider right now, he's our big brain. He's at 35 HP, 32 next turn, right? Which means that dual cast does half of his HP. We are again reshuffling our deck. So the likelihood that we're going to be able to kill him next turn is at a decently high amount, right? Decently high. It's not super high, but it's decently high that we'll kill him next turn. I think that playing this leap increases his damage by 5, but blocks us for 13. That's a net gain of 8 HP. Is quite worth it to me. We do draw lethal here this turn. So if we use dual cast, that's going to deal 16 damage. That's 10. That's 6. That is another 16. That's 32 HP. Big in chat. We played that fight somewhat perfectly, in my opinion. We get gold. We get a happy flower. He's happy as fuck, man, which gives you energy every single 3 turns. You can, that works between fights too. So if you're at the end of a fight and you have the time to set it up to kill him on a turn that you have 2 mana, that it's on 2, or the counter's on 2, that means the next fight that you play, you'll start out with 1 extra energy on your turn. Also notice that we did Nunchaku. We set that up to 9. Not really on purpose. Gremlin Nob's not usually a fight that you get the luxury of doing that. But next turn, after the first attack that we play, will essentially be played for free. We also get our explosive potion back, which is great. Anyone keeping track of our potion percentage will let us know that it's gone down by 10% now. And we run into our first rare card being a Buffer. Now, Buffer's not the best rare card, but we do have a couple of things to consider. 1, what are we upgrading at the campfire that's on the next floor? Nothing. It's kind of sucky. Buffer's pretty good once it's upgraded. Also, guess what Buffer's really fucking good into? A guy who likes to deal 36 damage once every 3 turns. Buffer seems like a very good thing to do here. Sunder is okay. It's kind of good in the early game. Most things have under 32 HP. I think unupgraded Sunder is pretty shit. But upgraded Sunder, it's just bludgeon with a little bit of a bonus to it. Another sweeping beam, fine to add to the deck at this point, I think. I think you're getting to the point where you're going to want to remove a strike if you do. But yeah, that Buffer is definitely going to help us out going into a couple of fights going on. Again, we talked about what we wanted to upgrade. That Buffer's Poggy Woggy. And let's see what we get in this fight. We are still at basic fights. Let's not forget that. We are still doing basic fights here. Let's play the sweeping beam to see if we draw into a cool block card. Again, we got the extra energy. We go boom, boom, boom. That means we're only going to take 2 damage this turn. That's Poggy, you ask me. If we can kill this turn, that means Happy Flower is going to be set up for the next fight perfectly. We do have the opportunity to kill. And we get an Ancient Potion, which will give us 1 artifact. So this is one we need to consider. What do these 2 potions give us? This potion, I think, gives us the opportunity to not need to rest at this campfire. And this potion, I think, is very good going into this boss. The artifact potion would be really good into a Gremlin Nob fight, but we just fought Gremlin Nob, so we know that this isn't going to be Gremlin Nob. So I think that potion's worth leaving behind. We find another Cold Snap, a Go for the Eyes, or a Hologram. Hologram could be really good if you didn't have the opportunity to play the Buffer when you first draw it, because you got some other Poggy cards to play. Then you draw Hologram and you want to use that to play your Buffer. That's a really good idea. Also gives us a card to upgrade at this campfire, though we don't find a good card in that shop or in that elite fight. Go for the Eyes is just like the Silence Neutralize, but worse because it comes with conditions. It's not a terrible card to take, especially if your deck is lacking energy, but our deck really isn't lacking all that much energy at the moment. Cold Snap is another fine one to add. The only thing is, though, is you're relying a lot of that Lightning Orb damage in order to deal damage, and adding too many Frost Orbs eventually just clutter the amount of Frost. Cheers, Carol. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you for the 3 months. Frost Scales in chat. So adding a lot of Frost Orbs, a lot of Cold Snaps early on without some other things can be detrimental. I think that a hologram here is fine, and we're going to go ahead and throw it into the deck. We got 307 gold, so I don't know why you wouldn't want to take a shop here. We get the opportunity for an Eternal Feather, which is fucking great. Poggy, mega cool. Eternal Feather is going to be for every 5 cards in your deck, heal 3 HP whenever you enter a rest site. Just makes it so you can upgrade more often. Really, really good. I could also understand if you wanted to remove a card here. That's another very good option to remove a strike. Make your deck a little bit thinner. But I think the power that you get from Eternal Feather, allowing us to upgrade our cards and make our cards even better, is good. Another thing we could buy is Sling of Courage, which is actually very strong. In elite fights, you get +2 strength. That damage adds up, man. If you're against Slavers, that's +6 damage on your Sweeping Beam. That's poggy. Static Discharge would be good if we were into any of the other 2 Act 1 bosses. Not really going to be super poggy here. So yeah, I think Eternal Feather is just the way to go, spending most of our gold. Let's see what elite we got. We get the 3rd elite, the Tri-Sentries. Not going to be a bad one. Again, we set up Happy Flower fairly perfectly here. So we get a really, really strong turn 1, actually. I think it's a fine fight here to also use our regen potion. I think we'll be here for a minute. But with that 4 energy, we're going to be able to leap to block for this guy's attack. Buffer, so that we'll guarantee to take 0 damage next turn. And get a bunch of AoE damage, which does draw the Cold Snap, which is annoying. You could consider playing the Sweeping Beam first, but I think we would have played the cards in the exact same order no matter what. Double Defend here will allow us to hold on to one of our buffer stacks, which I think is phenomenal. And we'll always go for one of the outside guys. Fishy! We'll always go for one of the outside guys because it always goes inside guy attacks, both of the outside guys attack, inside guys attack, both the outside guys attacks. Our lightning is not working with us, but that's fine. We'll figure it out. Use one of our buffer stacks there. And this is where the Chill becomes very good. So Chill will spawn 1 Frost Orb for every enemy in the fight. There's a lot of enemies in the fight, which means we get to spawn a lot of Frost Orbs. You could consider doing this in a different order. You could consider using Zap first and then the Orb so that it would evoke double Orb. But I'm considering doing Zap and then, or Chill and then Zap so that it evokes one of the Frost Orbs. We end up with the Lightning Orb still there, and then we could play 1 Defend in order to fully block so that we don't have to use our buffer charge. I think that's very poggy. Then we do that. We get our Lightning Orb back. We use our Melter on the low HP guy, and we play our Defend in order to fully block. Poggy. And we draw enough to be able to kill the guy on the right guaranteed. You could go for the 1 in 3 gamble. I don't advise for it. My luck is terrible. Also, with these oddly smooth stone with 1 Defend, we are full blocking against their attacks, not needing to use our buffer. Here, we're obviously going to have to use our buffer charge. Perfectly okay with that. We set up for this. We need to decide which one we want to focus now. You could obviously go for the one with less HP, or you could do a little bit of number crunching and think, okay, so if I draw a little bit of damage, how can I avoid an attack? Do I think that I'm going to kill one of these guys next turn? If so, you should obviously go for this guy, because then you can avoid his 10 damage by killing him. Killing things is the best form of block, but I don't think that we're going to be able to do that. I think that we might be able to kill this guy in 2 turns, though, so I think that hitting him is a lot smarter. Because by the time that it's his turn next to attack, we hopefully can block for his shit. We draw into a no defense. So here is the best thing to do is to dual cast first. Will block us for 10. Then we get to use our zap. So we still end up with 3 orbs at the end. Because if you zapped first and then dual casted, you'd overblock by quite a lot. And you'd only end up with 2 orbs at the end of the day. Our lightning orbs are starting to help out quite a bit. Big in chat. Thank you. All right, don't draw into enough. Pretty simple turn. RNG was not our friend there, unfortunately. We do draw into enough block in order to not take any more damage. We can get this guy into 1 lightning orb left of killing, as well as we get our Nunchaku proc, which is great. We're going to use our hologram here to bring back, I think we should bring back our Melter again, because this will allow us to full block. We can use the Melter to hit that guy. Lightning Orb takes care of the guy on the right. Please don't solo spam in my chat. You will be kicked out of class. you continue to do so. And we made it out of that fight phenomenally. We get another potion. We get Blood Vial to heal us at the start of every combat. Big along with the Eternal Feather. We've got a lot of sustain. We set up our Happy Flower for turn 1 of the Slime Boss fight. More big. We got an attack potion for the Slime Boss fight. Even more big. And we could consider one of these cards at the same time. We haven't found very much scaling. I'm leaning towards that Compile Driver because it will draw us for 2. We have a lot of Frost Orb generation. And it's something that we're not required to upgrade at this campfire, so it allows us to then upgrade our hologram so that it can be played 1,000 billion times and now blocks for the same amount as a defend. Big. And let us go. Heal up to almost full HP. I'm liking what we're throwing down here. What do I mean by scaling? So there's 2 forms of damage, right? There's this front-loaded damage. I can deal 10 damage to this guy, and it's always going to be 10 damage. But it's never going to be more than 10 damage. Scaling is... if I had, you know, obviously some focus to make my orbs deal better. If I had one of our forms of scaling is to be able to add orbs. That's a very small form of scaling, is we can add orbs. But yeah, maybe like a shuriken to increase your strength. But all of this stuff, even this oddly smooth stone, is just, it's blanket scaling. It doesn't get any better as the fight goes on. We are our strongest when we enter into the fight, essentially. We're not going to get a whole lot of value out of our Happy Flower here, but we set it up to be able to get value out of it in case we could. Move along to the second turn. Let's go ahead and play the Sweeping Beam first. We get a hologram. It's not really going to do much for us here. So I think we add the Lightning Orb for more damage overall in the fight. And now is when we consider, do we want to draw? I don't think so. Because if we do draw, we could draw into our buffer and then not be able to play it. And that is cringe. So here's an idea. We use this potion because we know it's going to cost 0. And now, here's the big ticket item, boys. We could take the Sunder. It costs 0, right? Or we could take the Claw. And we could use the Claw twice with our hologram. But I think that Sunder is going to be a lot better, dealing big chunk damage to these smaller orbs. And I think it allows us to get enough off. And then just to show you, if you were to then hologram back the Sunder, it does not reduce the cost until at 0. So, just in case you're wondering, didn't affect how we were going to play the turn. I just wanted to show you for science's sake. Now we're getting towards the point where he's going to split, right? He splits at 75. Whenever you get his HP to 75, he'll stop doing whatever he does, and he'll split into 2. He can split at 75. He can split at 1. It doesn't matter. Once he gets under 75, he's going to split. So this is where you just start having to do some mental math, right? Right now, we're going to deal 6 damage to him. That's going to put him at 83. He's not going to split this turn. And then next turn, if he takes another 6 damage, he's going to be at 76. Or 77, excuse me. Still not splitting. So maybe don't play this strike, because then you're guaranteeing him to split next turn, regardless of whether you think it's time to split. Obviously, we're going to use our buffer, and we're going to use our chill to gain 1 Frost Orb. And then we're going to chill. We got Happy Flower again this turn. I think this is a phenomenal turn to split. We've got 4 mana. We can play all 4 of our damage cards. Again, the rule of thumb is to dual... You could, right? We can do the math. There's 2 ways of playing this. Excuse me. There's the dual cast, right? That's 16 damage, plus that 3 damage is 19 damage, right? 19, this will split, or you can deal 19 damage, and then you'll have 3 orbs still for the rest of the fight. Or, if you play Cold Snap first, it will deal that extra 5 damage, and you know where that's going, right? You know that when you play this Cold Snap and then you dual cast, you know all of that damage is going to go into this guy. Versus if you dual cast first and then you Cold Snap, once they split, you might really want your Lightning Orb to hit the guy on the right, but it might not. And so it comes to how low do you want this motherfucker to split? And I think that usually right now we still have 1 buffer stack. I think that at this point, we definitely want him to split here. But I think getting him to the lowest HP possible in this specific case is better, because we're not already getting him to a massively low HP. If I had a bunch of focus right now, I would say it's better to keep the Lightning Orb in play. But since we don't, that 5 damage I really think is going to matter. So yeah, let us go. Let us do boom. We are going to get a waste of our Nunchaku, which is unfortunate. But I think splitting him at 41 is phenomenal. We still have this potion that we are willing to use. I don't think we need to use it now because the HP is relative, right? They come out both swinging hard. Rock hard, to be honest. Remember, we still have that buffer stack. So we can now probably use our Sunder and then into our potion in order to get this guy to split at the lowest HP for his final little split. And then we'll just use the buffer stack to eat that. Or we can split this guy. Because when they don't attack, this guy will weaken your defense. And the yellow slime will weaken your attack. And I think that in this fight, especially with all these smorky fucking attacks coming up, it is more in our benefit to smork with our frost orbs available as well than to yellow. Is this not yellow? I'm colorblind, chat. Is that green? Is green? Why not dual cast before cold snapping? Bro, I explained that for like a solid 5 minutes before I did it. If you weren't paying attention in class, I'm going to have to ban you. All right, we do actually draw super well here. We draw 2 attacks that can deal with the small orbs so we don't take incoming damage. We also can play one of our slimes so we don't draw it again. And then he's going to weaken our defense, but we're most likely going to be able to spend his entire turn splitting him next. He's going to split at 20 because when it's an odd number, they'll always split at the lower value. We can't get him to 20, so it's just best to defend here. We're not going to take a whole lot of damage. Yeah. We're only going to take 6. That's the first damage we take in all fight. Honestly, not all that bad. Here we can deal another 12 damage. Seems pretty good to me. We're getting all the slimes out of our deck. He's coming out at 213 HP, boys. We get that shit, slam. We get that shit, big. We get Melter. He's almost dead, not taking any damage. This was a pretty productive slime boss fight, if you ask me. Don't get the Nunchaku in the perfect place. If you wanted to be the most anal, you could have waited until you draw Zap. Play the Zap, it would have dealt the 3 damage, and then you could have saved your Nunchaku. I'm not going to be super anal about it because I'm not into butt stuff. There's 3 cards that we saw. The Amplify would allow us to play Buffer at the same time, and you're like, oh my god, Amplify Buffer, that's really, really good. Here's where we got to start thinking into the way that the game works, right? We have a 19-card deck. If we add that card to our hand, it's going to be a 20-card deck. We're going to draw 5 cards a turn and maybe be able to play a card that allow us to draw a card, like our Sweeping Beam or our Compile Driver, right? But the odds that we draw Amplify, at the current state, right? There's a lot of things that can affect it going forward. But at our current state, the chances of us being able to draw Amplify and Buffer on the same turn and then also have the mana to be able to play both of them, almost 0. It's very low. It's not gonna be super uncommon, but it's very low. So even though it's like a really good idea, 4 Buffer sounds poggy woggy. One in the chat if you agree. Just something to consider, right? If it's your best option, it's your best option, and that's perfectly fine. I'm not saying don't take it. I'm just saying these are the things you have to consider, right? Rainbow, Pog. That's all you got to think about Rainbow. One of the worst things about Rainbow is actually upgrading Rainbow because it doesn't exhaust. Rainbow is one of those cards that you like to play, and it kind of only happens once. Usually. Not always. There's decks that can do it. But Rainbow's a really fucking good card unupgraded. Gives you a lot of orb presence. Thank you, Bjorn, for the 500 biddies. I appreciate you.
1.
And then you've got Echo Form. Echo Form, you got to think about this. All of the forms are like this. How the fuck do I put this card in play? Right now, in our current deck, we don't. Really. I mean, the best way that we can put it in play is with these kind of things. We do have the energy. We also have the expendable HP. If we have to lose 10 HP in order to get Echo Form in play, we've got the resources to be able to put it in play, right? We've got the max HP. We've got the healing. We might get Bloody Idol that will allow us to heal every time we pick up gold, right? From swapping out Golden Idol with the event. So we might be able to think, oh, we take Echo Form, and then in the beginning of Act 2, we try to take a bunch of events in order to find the Bloody Idol event. And also we can heal a bunch, all sorts of things going into this. And obviously Echo Form's a poggy card, don't get me wrong. It's obviously, arguably to me, I think it's the best form. Obviously the Watcher's form is Omega Poggy, don't get me wrong, but that takes scaling time. This shit, next turn, I'm fired. I'm firing. My synapses are going, right? If you want a serotonin rush, Echo Form. Demon Form takes a while. Wraith Form puts you to sleep. Echo Form, Poggy Woggy. So I think that all three of these cards are decent here. I think that they all are. I think that Echo Form is definitely the best one. Again, we talked about Amplify. Rainbow, I just don't think is going to accomplish a whole lot. In terms of, we need to think about the greater scope of what is our deck going to do to kill things, right? And right now, we really don't have a lot of ways to kill things outside of just hitting our face against shit, right? And if we played this Rainbow, we could then have a Dark Orb that scales, but then we got to get to the Dark Orb. And to do that, after we've played these two cards, we've literally only got that in order to get to our orbs, right? Getting to that sucks fucking balls, man. So it would make our deck really slow. Enemies could scale up, do some more damage to us, make our world even harder. So Echo Form, honestly, even though it's that card that might not be easy to play at the moment, we are about to see 3 relics that we can try to be able to put something better in play, right? With the amplify of like, oh, we could try to see the relics and put it in play better. Really, the only relic that's going to do that is Birdcage, so that we have a greater chance of seeing stuff, seeing the better cards of removing strikes, or Runic Pyramid. Other than that, but with Echo Form, you got Runic Dome, Cursed Key, Sozu, Sneko Eye, Nuclear Battery, Runic Pyramid again, right? Like, all of those relics will make Echo Form more playable. So we're going to take Echo Form. Any questions, chat? Before we go to the relics? All right, relic first, chat. All right. All right. Thank you for subscribing. So here we come across 3 relics, all of which are phenomenal. Runic Pyramid will make it so you don't discard your hand at the end of every turn. That's fucking great. Inserter is one of the most powerful relics in the game. Will give you an orb slot every 2 turns. Just more orbs. Fucking awesome. Coffee Dripper. Something that people are oftentimes scared of. It gives you 1 extra energy, but you can't heal at rest sites. But are we forgetting that we have multiple things?
Imagine not reading the stream title before entering the stream. Pogo.
Pogo's in chat. The things that our deck can do to heal is really, really good. And now I know a lot of people are saying Inserter is scaling. Yes. But we need to think about, right, what did we talk about earlier on today in the lecture? What do we need to do that will make our next fight the best that it can be, so that we can...
What do orbs do, Frost Sensei?
Rune, shut the fuck up. So we need to think about what we do for the next fight. If we run into Avocado, how the fuck are we going to get Echo Form in play with 3 energy? It's going to be rather difficult,
Thank you for
right?
subscribing.
It's going to be rather difficult, and that Inserter
Hey man,
is not going to help us in the slightest
catch
bit.
you on again.
Thank
Been
you.
super busy with college.
Thank
Get
you.
Inserter.
Eat shit, go back to college. This is my domain. Inserter is not going to make it easier for us to do things next fight. And right now, we are in a very detrimental position to lose a lot of HP early on, which would then make us rest at campfires, which would then make our elite fights harder, which would then give us a higher chance of losing. But if we want to be able to get this Echo Form in play often, if we want to be able to have good scaling, because Echo Form is scaling, right? We're talking about what's our scaling. Echo Form's some pretty good fucking scaling, right? But in order to be able to take these next couple of fights, I really think that we're going to need a lot of energy to be able to put a lot of things in play, right? Like 2 leaps with Echo Form is just already poggy. Inserter is poggy. Don't get me wrong. And I know everyone's like, Inserter, consume, right? But you also have to remember that you have to get Conserter, you have to find a consume, and then you have to have a deck that can actually play both of those things. And right now, our deck will not get much benefit out of Inserter. We have 3 cards in our deck that create orbs, one of which exhausts, one of which costs 1 mana and only gives us an orb that does 3 damage to something random. So Inserter really doesn't feel like it's all that good. Coffee Dripper, on the other hand, sounds fucking poggy woggy. All right, let's move on. All right, we are back up to 72 HP. Here's what we gotta think, right? What is our deck trying to do? We've got a bunch of these relics. We got a bunch of shit. Like, we fucking loaded up. We took 4 elites last act. Let's just not forget that. We took 4 elites. We found the golden idol. We bought this at a shop. We're fucking owning, dude. Here's how this game works, though. Act 1, we talked about. The first 3 fights that you take are easy fights, and then they're hard fights after that. Act 2, 2 fights. And then it's hard fights after that. Plan accordingly. You don't want to be running into Avocado X Mushroom Rat before you get into your elite fight. Maybe plan for it. Now, what did we talk about, right? We've got these healing things, and another thing that we would want is more fucking healing. Because there's an event in Act 2 that if you have the golden idol, you can trade the golden idol for the bloody idol, which instead of dropping more gold, gives you 5 HP anytime that you gain gold, regardless of if it's after a fight, anything like that. So I think that us taking the maximum amount of question marks early on, because let me explain. Act 1 question marks, removing cards, gaining gold, taking damage. Those are the 3 things that you're going to do in Act 1. Maybe getting a curse. Act 2, a lot of the events in Act 2 are much more favorable, right? You've got the bloody idol. You've got the betting on the fight in order to win gold. You've got the apparition event. You can even get the thwack event that a lot of times you can be malding to see, but also can give you 2 rare relics, which is fucking poggy. Or I think it's a rare and an uncommon. Yeah, there's a lot of things that you can do. There's a lot of there's probably some that I'm missing. The chat's going to name here, and I'm going to be like, yeah, that one too. There's a lot of things in Act 2 that are in events that are really fucking good for you. Act 2 events are poggy-woggy. And knowing what those events are, it takes time, right? It just takes knowledge of the game, but it'll help you out. Vampire event? Yeah, we could get the vampire event. I don't know if I would take the vampire event, honestly. If I had Runic Pyramid, I would probably consider it more, but the vampire event would allow us to trade our blood vial, which is cool. Let's take our first fight. We get an avocado. Thanks. So do we want to take 21 damage? No. Draw me buffer. Balls. Shit! Hey, buffer, come on down, man. We get to dual cast that, so we get 4 buffer stacks, quite poggy. This attack that he's going to do here, where he does this, has this little thing on him, is if he deals damage to you, he will heal. But he won't deal damage to us, so he won't heal. Eat shit. Fucking bitch. What do we want to bring back? So if we play hologram twice, we can bring this back. Then we can bring this back. Then we can do something like this. Draw onto that. We can do something like this.
Opinion on Onyx countertops, teacher.
Shut up. We did draw our Melter, which is probably not a super good one, but it's okay. We got our buffer stacks. We're doing all right. Here, let's just go ahead and try to full block so we don't use our thing. We'll still deal 1 whole damage to him. Biggs in chat, thank you. Here, probably using our compile driver so that we can draw the most. We draw into the Melter, kind of nuts. We do use our Nunchaku proc. We can continue to deal damage to him here. We need to block for 12 in order to full block. So let's just do one of these into one of those. And that extra energy is definitely coming into play. Kind of nuts, boys. Big. All right. These cards are balls. These cards are pretty bad. I don't think we want another hologram, because again, hologram unupgraded is that card that you want to upgrade at a campfire that is kind of necessary to upgrade because it doesn't block for a whole lot, but then you feel obligated to do it instead of upgrading a better card. So I'm not really super big on it. Claw's bad. Don't look at Claw. Auto Shields is also bad because if you play it, you have to play it before you add any block to your thing, and if you play it with Echo Form, it'll only play once, and then the second time it doesn't do anything. So it's kind of a waste. It's can be okay in the early game, but with Echo Form and what our deck is doing, eh. Do it for the Claw? No. I am the greatest teacher of all time. Would you like to offer the golden idol to get the bloody idol? Whenever you gain gold, heal for 5 HP. That's nice. Now I think that these question marks are not as good anymore, and I would like to go this way. Take our second good fight into a shop. This seems good. This seems good. That seems good. This guy on turn 1 on Ascension 20 is going to give you the debuff that anytime you play a power or a spell, it will add a Dazed into your deck, but you can also suck my ass. Also, this bottled Echo Form's pretty poggy. One in the chat, if you agree, man. Jesus, dude. Sheesh. Sorry, I will not start saying sheesh. I promise you that. I can promise you I will not start saying sheesh. That will not become in my vernacular. We could full block here, and I think that's probably poggy. We are adding a lot of days to our deck, but eventually we will use our buffers, and we're okay whenever that happens, which is now. Now we're going to use 2 of our buffers. That's fine. Does that stack with the Thieves taking back gold? Yes. So yeah, when you go against the Thief fight, you will have to take back your gold from them, and you'll do that on top of also getting the gold that they had, which will also heal you. So yes, you'll heal 10 for that fight. Yes. Here we could look for another compile driver, which I am a-okay with it. Right now we have a lot of mana to work with, and we can just draw for a bunch. Let's go to this shop here, where we can grab a capacitor for cheap and also remove a card and not take prismatic shard. Wow, boy, do I like not taking prismatic shard. It's kind of nice. Let's go ahead and take this capacitor because it's going to allow us to have more orb slots. We're going to remove a card from our deck, preferably these strikes here. Going to be quite nice. Here's a thing to consider, though, right? If we're trying to make more orb cards, we're trying to make more orbs. Do we want more orb cards? Like possibly a ball lightning with balls, because we are about to head into 2 elite fights. We have no potions. We could consider taking this colorless potion in order to help us defeat that elite, or we can consider taking balls, which will help us with our nunchaku. I think balls is good. Adding more orbs to fill in our capacitation slots. Very poggy. Would you like to remove a card or upgrade all strikes and defense? I don't think that I have to be a super intellectual person to see Ooga Booga upgrade all my stuff is better than removing a card most of the time. Obviously, the remove a card there is in case you've removed all of your stuff via Pandora's box or some other form of garbage. But upgrading is nuts. Here you could consider compile driving first, but I'm looking probably at playing the Echo Form, then using capacitor, then blocking, which means we don't really care that much about using that compile driver. It doesn't give it a lot of damage off first, but what does upgrading him do? They all deal a lot more damage or block for a lot more. It's big. All right, so now we need to consider what's going to be happening in the coming turns, and what is the best thing to be able to do with that. This guy next turn, this turn he's going to entangle us, which means we're not going to be able to attack next turn, which means we're going to really want to rely on using our block mechanics. This guy, if he has the debuff above his head, he's going to weaken you. He's not doing that, which means he's just going to continue to attack us. This guy is going to always add 3 wounds to your deck, which is fucking shitty as balls. So yeah, this is not looking good here. We can use our sweeping beam twice to deal 12 damage to every single person. That's a lot of damage, don't get me wrong, but it's really not achieving a whole lot. It would put us at 7 on our Nunchaku counter, which then we go 8, 9, 10. That's 3 more attacks. It's pretty difficult to do unless we draw 2 attacks. Could draw into our chill. That's a lot of block. I do think I'm going to play this. Draws us our defend and our buffer, which buffer's not the best here. Hologram's not the best here, because buffer is just going to be used on both of their attacks. It's really not going to achieve us a lot. If it was the opposite order and this guy was going to attack first, I would say that's probably a better idea. I think the better thing to do here is probably... It's probably hologram... Is it hologram sweeping beam again? I don't want to draw into another good card, though. Block hollow block does get us there. But then we're not dealing a whole lot of damage, although we just did deal a whole lot of damage, but not to anyone in particular. And next turn, we're not going to be able to attack, but we're not going to be vulnerable, which is okay. So maybe we can consider doing that. Let's see. We are blocking for 15, which means if we block for that additional 9, we're over blocking versus we could play the strike and deal 9 damage or play zap. I think zap is really, really strong here. You're on par for Nunchaku next turn. We can't get Nunchaku next turn. Yeah, we're going to take 6 damage here. Yeah, I think that's good. Because if we draw Chill next turn or Leap, we should be fairly good with our Echo Form. Do draw Chill. Could dual cast the Chill. It'll spawn 6 Frost Orbs, doing 3, and then evoking one of the last 3, which would block for 2 times 5. 2 times 5 is 10. 10 plus 5. 10 plus 5 is 15, so that's pretty good. Versus that blocks for 19, but also doing that would only allow us to play Chill once. So I do think that it is better to do this. Only play the Chill once, so we still have our Frost Orbs. I think ultimate, we still take 0 damage here. We do get weakened for next turn. Still aren't vulnerable, which is definitely poggers. I think here, dual casting our Ball Lightning is good. We do have Nunchaku this turn we can think about. We could also dual cast our Leap, though. Let's see how much damage we have. We have 5 plus 6 plus 6 plus 7. So, plus 6 is 11. 11 plus 6. 11 plus 6. 17. 17 is 24. So 24 doesn't get us there on that guy. So I think that means that we have to attack twice. If we add on an additional 5 damage, that doesn't do anything. But if we add on an additional 9 damage, if we dual casted the Melter, that does get us there. So I think it's Melter on this guy and then play the rest of our stuff. We should be pretty good. We even get that hit, which is fucking great. I think going after this guy, since he's going to continue to add wounds to our deck, is the best. Are taking a little bit of damage. Not super happy about it. Right now we have 19 damage incoming. We block for 6 innately. Which means we're good to do this. We are weakened again, not Omega Poggers. Here, definitely going to dual cast this. Get the most stuff out that we can. I think it's actually better to bring back the Ball Lightning, use it again, so that we can guarantee that guy to be dead. And then we're guaranteeing him dead as well. Yeah, we can't help the fact that we didn't get a good spot for a Happy Flower, but we do have a good spot for an Nunchaku, and we get a 5 health heal from our money. We get a Mummified fucking hand, which is fucking awesome. Every time you play a power cost, that's really good. And we get a Potion of Capacity, get 2 orb slots once for a fight. And we come across a Charged Battery, a Sweeping Beam, and a Go for the Eyes. All right. That's some good-ass shit that we're finding here, boys. All right. Things to consider. Charged Battery. Let's see, what elites are we going to be fighting here? We are going to be fighting either Stabby Book, or we're going to be fighting the Gremlin Boys. Battery doesn't really help us into Gremlin Boys. Does help us into the Stabby Book.
Oh, well.
But Sweeping Beam makes the Gremlin Boys Omega fucking dead. Sorry, I need a... 1 second.
Charge battery bay to outfund.
What am I right now, chat? That's what I am, boys.
Can you repeat that stuff on the mummified hand? I wasn't able to write the notes down fast enough before you changed slides.
We could do Charged Battery beta art. That's a good fun. I just spilled water all over myself. Someone get my mom. Oh no. I spilled water all over myself. I guess I'll just have to take my shirt off. Thank you for subscribing.
Pog, love your stream and the drip.
Hey, Devel, thank you very much for the 2 months. Should I go jacket, no shirt, chat? Thank you very much for the 2 months. I fucking appreciate you. Much love. So yeah, like I said, although charge battery is really good for the deck, don't get me wrong, because if you dual cast, you get 2 extra energy the following turn, all that kind of stuff, right? What does it accomplish us in terms of the next thing that we're going to fight? Is it good into the snake bitch? Yeah. Do we already have a lot of stuff to mitigate damage from the snake bitch? Yeah. Do we already have a lot of blocking stuff? Yeah. Is this just a defend minus? Yeah. Sweeping Beam, however, is more AoE to be able to deal with the Gremlin guys, which I think is more of a threat to us. So I think we're going to take the Sweeping Beam over that. And go for the eyes really isn't going to accomplish a lot, honestly, right now. So I just don't think it's all that good. Chilifish, thank you for the follow. We go here, we go up to 46 HP. We can't rest, so we're forced to upgrade. I think that upgrading our capacitor or upgrading our echo form is very good. Upgrading our zap is phenomenal to make it cost 0. But I think capacitor is just an easy one. Getting your powers upgraded is great, especially since we got the mummified hand. Makes it all that much better. And we got the Gremlin Man. Let's go. Big. All right. Hello, Gremlin Man. It is good to see you.
Jacket,
doing
no
Gremlin
shirt,
stuff.
More like tongue, no lips.
Wait
Please
a
don't
minute.
fail me. I need this class to graduate.
Uh-huh. I kind of want to use our dual cast here because if it hits both of these guys, we're in really good shape. We're in really good shape. We're going to use... Oh, wait. It doesn't matter whether we use the compile driver or not because we can't draw. That was a very good turn. So if you kill both of his guys, he has a 20% chance of attacking. If there's just one left, he has a 50% chance of attacking. And if there's 2 left, he has a 100% chance of attacking after he buffs. So keep that in mind. Foggy. What order do we want the orbs here? Probably, I think we want this orb in front. Do we want to play the chill? I think so, even though it's only going to give us 1, and we could technically get more value. This is a 50-50 of whether he'll attack or not. It's all up in the air. Now we need to worry about whether or not we can kill either of these guys to make it a 50% chance of attacking next turn, or we could use our buffer, but then we use one of our charges now. We do have the possibility of using our hologram to bring back maybe our compile driver and then hit that guy. We just need to draw into 1 attack, and then we've got plenty of them down there. I think compile driver is probably the play, yeah? Yeah, I think bringing back compile driver here is definitely a play, but then we wouldn't get off we don't get off the echo form. That's a bit of a problem, huh? We could go for a hologram into gambling with the ball lightning. It's not a terrible play. Mummy hand. That is also very true. You're right. You're actually 100% right, Chad. I am too focused on the big picture here. Yeah, it's true. I think the play here is, with the mummy hand, we have to think even bigger. Some might even say, even wider. Couldn't imagine. Our goal. Actually, this is actually a really good turn. And let me explain why. Because this blocks for 6, those 2 will full block. Will full block, meaning that we can save our buffer charges. So if we use our hologram here, we're going to bring back the ball lightning. We're going to use the ball lightning here. It hits that guy. That's fine. That's okay. We use zap. And then we buffer, which guarantees to make echo form to cost 0. Which is Pongy. So he's going to attack this turn, but we have 2 buffer stacks. We've got 2 buffers stacked up. He's doing 16 times 3. We can block for 9 times 4, which does that block. That blocks for 36, which blocks for 15 plus 16. which is Pongy. Which does, in fact, as they say, chat, get us there. All right. Now he's going to go back to doing his thing. Let's use our sweeping beams that we've talked about here. They're Omega cool. And allowing us to draw all of the things that we want to do. Now he has a 20% chance of attacking this turn. He does not because he's a giant fucking pussy. We get a billion attacks off, even get a dual cast on his face. And he falls down. What a pussy bitch. And we get on the back of it all. One, we get 5 HP. 5 HP, don't forget it from our money. It's bloody out of play. Don't forget that Frost Prime did it. He's a fucking genius. And we also get a data disc. We start each combat with one focus. Our damage orbs will be dealing more damage. Our blocky orbs will be dealing more block. And we get a cultist potion, which you gain 1 ritual, which means every single turn that you gain an attack for that fight. You gain a strength, which is really good. We run into a skim plus a bullseye or a charged battery again. The bullseye gives you the lock-on effect, which means if orbs hit that for the next turn, for the next couple of turns, they'll deal 50% more damage. It's just vulnerable for orbs. Very good. Don't get me wrong. Very, very poggers. Yeah, so I think that this skim here is just absolutely fucking phenomenal. I think that our deck wanting to draw more stuff is exactly what it wants to do. It can rely on the defense in order to be really, really good defensive cards early on. We've got the scaling now with the data disc. We don't need more defense, in my opinion. We've already got a lot of energy manipulation. I think this Skim Plus is phenomenal. In Act 2, you have a higher chance of seeing upgraded cards, and in Act 3, it's even higher to see upgraded cards. So taking upgraded cards when you see it is good. Again, this is increasing our chances to see rare cards by it being or rare relics by it being a chest like this. We get a Bottle Tornado. So on turn 1, we now get to have a power to be in our opening hand that will make another card in our hand cost 0. I do think that the best one to have is Echo Form, because getting that off early in the fight is really good, usually because enemies scale throughout a fight, and also like in terms of fight like this, on turn 1, they don't do anything. So it's very safe for you to use the bulk of your energy. Also, if we place fight smart, and we set up our Happy Flower to always be on turn 1 of the next fight, we'll have 5 energy to play with, plus a 0-cost card in our hand. It's really good. It's really good. Yeah. Unfortunate. Unfortunate that we don't get to take the pellets. It's a very good thing. All right, I'm thinking now. I'm thinking now with my brain. And my brain says that this ritual potion is fucking useless, right? We got to think about what are we needing to do? What are we needing to accomplish, right? The collector fight is a very deadly fight that's coming up very quickly for us. In order to beat that fight, you have to scale rather quickly. And then it gets a little bit easier later on. And so I think that a way to do that is not with the ritual potion, actually. But I think that it's with a focus potion. I actually think that we need to get rid of this potion and gear up, because I think we're strong enough to defeat most elites that come our way. I think that the way that we defeat the boss, though, is possibly with 2 extra orb slots and 2 extra focus. I think that's perfect. All right, let's go take this question mark, which I think has a pretty high chance of being a fight. Well, it's technically a fight. Whack, you were knocked unconscious. This fight is actually annoying, to be honest. I'm not going to lie. This is actually a very annoying fight. I would like one of these 2 to cost 0. Thank you. The guy in the front, again, is going to weaken our attack. The guy in the back is going to vulnerable us if he's doing his weaker attack. He's not, though. So right now, it's a good time to focus him since he might never vulnerable us if we just get to kill him. He also can do the entangle thing, which is fucking stupid and dumb, and I don't like it. I think I want to draw just like a billion cards, yeah? Because remember, we have Echo Form right now. So fuck this guy. Let's go ahead and do this. Let's go ahead and do one of these. We can't kill that guy this turn. Let's go ahead and play this. Makes our defend cost 0. Easy. Yeah, and we're setting up to being able to deal with the next turn quite well. We can't attack this turn, but we can do something like this. Make everything in our hand cost 0. We're not super scared of these guys. Get our Nunchaku proc here. I would like to kill these guys relatively soon, but I would like to kill them next turn so that our Happy Flower is now set up. Now we're at a point where we very much care about setting up our Happy Flower intelligently. Especially if we want a chance at taking that next fight that can give us rare stuff. Now, the only bad thing there is we don't get that 5 HP heal from the Bloody Idol, but we do get the 2 HP heal from the Blood Vial if we go into this fight. We are set up with our Happy Flower. We know what the fight's going to be. It's going to be the middle Slaver from the Slaver's fight that adds wounds to your deck and scales the strength, and a Gremlin Nob, which is extremely fucking scary. But Gremlin Nob doesn't do anything on turn 1, and the Slaver starts off quite weak. So we still have the option of being able to put our Echo Form in play and smorking down the guy, the Gremlin Nob, but it puts a little bit of a rut in our plan, because I think if we're going to do that, we're definitely going to use our Focus Potion. Like, we really, really, really will need to use our Focus Potion. But if we can get down the Gremlin Nob fast enough, we should be pretty okay. In the powerful fight with many rewards, if you beat him, you get a rare relic and an uncommon relic. So I think it's good. And it counts as an elite fight for your rare card percentage. Hey, level 100 boss, they give it the 10 months. I think that our deck is very much strong enough to take this. Very, very, very much strong enough to take this. We get a really good opening hand, too. So again, we want to focus this guy. I do think that we want to use this Focus Potion as well. Hopefully we can get another good potion going into the boss fight, but if we don't, we don't. Also, remember, using powers does not upset Gremlin Nob. Use powers. Powers are poggy. Powers are poggy. Now we can consider, do we want to block and preserve our buffer stacks? Right now we're only going to use 1 this turn. If we do this, we will use 0. I think that's far better. Even though he's going to deal a little bit of damage to us, that's okay. We still have 4 buffer stacks. That's pretty poggy. He makes us a little vulnerable. Owie, no, you know? That's what he wants us to think. Let's try to draw as many cards as we can. We get a bunch of good shit here. We've got our Nunchaku right now. It's good. We could draw into our Ball Lightning. I actually really like that plan. We draw into our Ball Lightning, and we get to go Ball Lightning into... I actually think we play Zap here, and it's just a bunch of fucking damage. Yeah, I think Zap here is good. We only use 1 of our buffer stacks. It's really, really good. 37 damage, a little bit Monka, but I think we're fine. Let's go ahead and do this. Draw into some good shit. That's what they call that, good shit, chat. Now we don't get our Happy Flower set up. That is a Monka. You know, if you guys typed love into the chat for the level 100 boss, that would be fucking poggy. But if you also typed Monka, I would understand. We get a Duvu doll, which is just basically 1 strength. Because we only have 1 curse in our deck. Don't really plan on adding many more. We get a White Beast statue, which is getting us a potion after every fight, which is really fucking good since we had to use our good potion. We get 100 gold, which only gives us still 5 HP in healing, but it's poggy. And we get our Fire Potion, which is a decent potion coming up since we now can use potions every single fight. And we get a couple more things. So let's think about what our deck's doing right now. Our deck draws a lot every single turn. Fucking great. But it doesn't always play all of its cards. Wait a minute. We could get it to play more cards if we had more energy. Sorry, I'm acting like a fucking teacher right now. I'm getting into the role play of it all. I don't think that chill is really going to do a whole lot for us here. We already got 1. It's really been underwhelming most of the time. Darkness is pretty good. It's not terrible. We don't have a lot of orbs right now that we're cycling through mega quickly. So, yeah, I think Turbo here is definitely the best choice. It'll help us out on a lot of turns when we get to, like, you know, dual cast our Skim or some shit. And we get another fucking Slaver's fight. God damn it! Fuck. This is not that good of a fight. I'm not gonna lie to you, chat. I'm pee-peeing my pants right now. Professionally speaking, of course. I am pee-peeing my pants. We do have the turbo. It's very good. So I think we do want to dual cast our... Actually, maybe it's better to do this. To dual cast this. We do have a lot of draw here. This is good. Very good. Very, very, very Omega Pongers. And let's go ahead and just throw this one out here on that guy. Because we know that we're going to be able to block most of the turns for enough. But we are needing to worry about the fact that we're going to get a potion at the end of this fight. And that might be better than the current potion that we have. Bring back that ball lightning. Actually, do we want to bring back the ball lightning right now? No. Because we want to work that up, if we can, to have a good turn 1. The following fights. So yeah, we're good. Pongier. We get another +1 strength. Right now, dude, the best card that we could see at this current moment is a common card. Chat, do you know what it is? Again, I'm being the teacher. I'm getting into the roleplay. It's a Barrage. Barrage would be really good. Barrage would be fantastic. We get an upgraded reinforced body, which isn't the worst, especially with our dual cast. I mean, with the Echo Form being bottled, it's kind of just like a free turn. It's really not all that bad. Go for the Eyes is good. It's not that good, actually. FTL, honestly not going to do a whole lot for us at the current moments. But yeah, I think an upgraded reinforced body, when you dual cast it, is pretty good. It's a bit of a Monka-esque fight, ain't gonna lie. Bit of a Monka, you know what I'm saying? Monka-esque, you know? Is this a fight where we don't play our Echo Form? I think this is still a fight where we just Echo Form. We play the Defend. We play Echo Form. It hits the Melter, which is great. Could have considered using our Speed Potion there. All right, we block fully here. Great. Good stuff, good shit. I think we are definitely within our reason to be able to kill this guy now. Oh, it's technically order. We should end on that first, but we are A-okay. It is an okay turn for us to go ahead and kill him off. Because we do have our thing in place. We get a fruit juice, which is great. I'm actually going to take that over that. I'm actually going to take it over this. And we're probably going to drink it almost immediately. Remember when you use fruit juices, though, that it will help you at resting at campfires, which we can't do, but it also hurt us more when we take damage at events. So, do we want any of these cards, though? I'm not really feeling them, man. I mean, we could take a third Sweeping Beam, but how many basic attacks do we need in this deck before it's just Clutterous? I think it's right now. Also, I said Clutterous, not Clitoris. I did not say Clitoris. The word that came out of my mouth was not Clitoris. Also, if you don't take the left fight here, you're dumb as fuck. Professional teacher. In this fight, if you deal more than 20 damage to him, she's like pretty much guaranteed to want to heal next fight or next turn. So if you can just continue to deal large amounts of damage to the big man, you're usually in a pretty good spot. We're gonna skim. We're gonna draw. We're gonna continue to slap. We deal so much damage, man. Why the fuck are we, like, borderline dead all the time? Like, what the fuck? Why is the left fight better? Because left is the cooler direction. Dumbass. Alright, proc up our Nunchaku as much as possible. We got the Happy Flower in a good spot. We're gonna go ahead and drink our potion. We get a stack in this big of a deck. Not terrible. Not a terrible card. Not super useful for us, though. It is a stack plus, and then it does get +1, so it's like a stack plus. Heals, it's 4 minimum if there's no cards. Maybe it's good enough against, like, later fights against the heart. It's really the only card worth selecting there. Hello World's terrible. Again, we don't need another chill. All right, we go to 38 HP here. What should we upgrade? What should it be, boys? Should we finally get the Zap upgraded? Probably. Echo Form? We're always going to be playing Echo Form. All right, 40 HP for the fights. Pretty okay turn 1. Our use of the Nunchaku there was not as good. I kind of want to dual cast this. Gives us a fuck ton of block. Pretty good. Doing a lot of AoE stuff here is pretty good. I don't really want to use my powers outside of dual casting them, so I'm going to say no, actually. It's okay to say no sometimes, Chad. Yeah, then I think we do full block quite easily. I adjust my glasses. You guys all give me tantalizing looks from across the room. I really want to dual cast that, man. But I guess we might not have the option to here. I'm not overly opposed to doing that. I was just, you know, somewhat opposed. I think we can go for the gamble here that our orbs will take care of everything. Like I said, the gamble, baby. This is not that good of a turn. What a good use of our Happy Flower Poggy. All right, still going to go ahead and dual cast this. Pretty good time here to go ahead and play that. Blocking for 31, we could do 7 times 2 is 14. 14 plus this 9 is 21. 21 plus 9, we could take 1 damage. That's fine. Oh, 0 damage. Wait, I did my math completely wrong? Or I did it right? Or I did it wrong? I don't know, dude. I'm not a doctor. What are you? A doctor? Dumbass. Got him. All right, I'm kind of happy with that draw there. I'm going to elect to not play anything else so I can dual cast my buffer next turn. Does Collector summon dudes indefinitely? She'll summon dudes. I don't know what the percentage chance of is for her to summon dudes. But she does just randomly decide, hey, it's time to summon dudes. By the way, it is dude summoning time, in case you weren't aware. I think we just use one of our buffer stacks here, and I think that's fine. Continuing to deal some damage. We have 4 of them. They're an unlimited number, right? I think the max she can have out is 3. I'm not sure. Yeah, there's nothing stopping her from summoning more. So here we're going to do this. So we replace the orb that we get rid of. We dual cast for a bunch of damage and then add the orb that we got rid of back. Pretty good damage. She's going to summon next turn. Not bad. Again, I'm wanting to keep my my defensive orbs around a little bit, not just overload on the lightning. The fight has gotten a little bit easier, though, because she has... Do I need to focus these guys? We have a lot of AoE. I guess all of our AoE is kind of gone. We could also use this potion since we're guaranteed one. I don't like using my potion unless I super have to, but... Buffer stack away, my friend. First time using turbo in the fight. We don't even have to use our buffer stack. Is this the greatest Slay the Spire gamer of all time? Now is about the time that you can just kind of go for it. Did we lose any HP this fight, chat? I think we just perfected the collector fight. Wow. That's good on the points. Get some gold, heal for 5, get the Essence of Steel. Not the best potion, but it's okay. And then what do we see for a rare card? Garbage. Garbage. We see garbage. Fuck. Okay, let's explain at least what these cards are. Mummy Hand Meteor Strike Big.
Mummy Hand Meteor Strike Big.
It's not terrible since we have Capacitor. It's not awful, I should say. It does reduce our ability to block, but Meteor Strike is actually honestly the best card here in my opinion. Usually it's pretty hard to play, but with the Mummified Hand and with the turbos and all of the drawing potential, the odds that we draw them both on the same hand are actually quite high. And being able to play it'll happen more often than not. Thunderstrike is just pretty terrible. We don't make enough lightning for it to really matter. And by the time that we scale up to that point, it's... Reboot is a card that I think a lot of us take, and we'll be like on turn 2, and we'll have shuffled like 8 cards into our discard pile, and then we'll be like, damn, I really need something good. I'm going to play Reboot. And you reshuffle your deck and then end up drawing those 8 cards again before you draw any of your good shit, and it just can kind of ruin your momentum. It can also make it a lot better, don't get me wrong. I don't think Reboot's terrible, but I think it's pretty fucking bad here, especially since we have such a large deck. If we were like looking to get Capacitor in play and we were down to like the last 10 cards of our deck, you'd be tempted to play Reboot, but then it can make it impossible to play it. So I'm unironically going to take a Meteor Strike and hope that we get another Energy Relic here. Well, we do get a Relic here. Busted Crown will give you an energy, but you take 2 less cards at every card reward. Not super good if you're still wanting to like flesh out your deck, because again, only seeing 1 card will slowly increases your chance of seeing rare cards, and then you don't really get to choose, but you know, the rare card that you see, chat's got to talk to you.
Boys, this content that you're watching right now has officially been given the Twitch chat seal of awesome content that you should come and watch the stream.
Chat, $20 to ban the Hindsighter. Let's just go over the relics, because we should. Right, we went over Busted Crown. It's really not that good if you're trying to still see rare cards, which we definitely are. Our deck is not super strong. We'd love to see a Bias Cog, something like that. Philosopher's Stone is really, really good up until you get to the Heart Fight, and it just makes all of the multi-attacks that much harder to hit. You get 1 energy, but every enemy has +1 strength. Again, we kind of have this to counteract it, but not really. But another thing is Snecko Eye, which Snecko Eye is one of the strongest relics in the game. Less so now with a lot of the cheaper cost cards being buffed on characters like the Silent. But it's still easily... Hold on, I'm going to unplug my mouse. Easily one of the strongest things in the game. Literally because it says draw 2 additional cards. That is like why it is so unbelievably strong. It says draw 2 additional cards every single turn. But also you got to think of like, what's a good way to play Echo Form? Is it better to play Echo Form every single time for 3 mana? Or is it sometimes good to play Echo Form for 0 mana and then make another card in your hand cost 0 mana? And then the next turn, even though like a card might cost 3, it might be a leap that costs 3 and it blocks for 13 with Oddly Smoothstone. And if I play it twice, that's 26. Is 3 mana for 26 block good? That's almost an impervious. Yeah, it's good a lot of the time, right? So you got to think about your card quality in terms of what am I like... Even though my turbo might then start costing a little bit more, or, you know, am I going to be okay with chill costing 1 or 2? It's the card quality, right? Am I okay with playing 2 mana and get 18 block? Yes, I am, right? Am I okay with playing 3 mana, get 4 buffer stacks, but make 2 cards in my hand cost 0? Yes, I am. Am I okay with Meteor Strike being really fucking easy to play now and me being able to play it twice to go for infinite mana? Yes, I am, right? You just got to think about your card quality. Even though its Sweeping Beam says I cost 1, therefore making me cost 50% of the time more than 1 equals bad, you also have to remember you're drawing 7 cards a turn. So even if that you draw that one and it's bad, you might draw this one and it's good. You might draw this one and it's good. You might draw this one and it's good. There's other options on top of, again, card quality, right? If I dual cast Turbo and it costs 2, it only costs 2 the first time. So I still net gain 4 energy out of dual casting a Turbo with my Echo Form. And then I can go into drawing things, right? Any questions about Snecko Eye? All right. Chat. Moving on into Act 3. Act 3 is very much like Act 2, where the first 2 fights are going to be your easy fights, then getting into hard fights. Now you have to remember, if you want to fight the heart, we haven't taken any keys. So that kind of does limit the directions that we can go. And that looks like we're going to have to take 4 fights into no more campfires for the rest of the act. Maybe another elite. Shit balls. It's a pretty tough act for us, but our deck is going to do a lot. And as long as we play smart, we keep our intellectual wit about us, we can get YouTube content. Thank you for the 6 months, Mbato. I appreciate you, baby.
To the fantastic content.
I love you. I love you so fucking much. Make me... All right. Now every fight becomes a Peepo G moment all the time. Let's go over what these enemies do.
Chat, you're my only friends.
Yep.
Give me book recommendations, preferably fantasy genre.
The Gone
also,
series.
Gift 5 subs.
True, gifting 5 subs is probably good. So yeah, every fight is going to be super intellectual. This guy, of course, he's going to attack a couple of times. Then once that timer hits 0, he's going to explode, deal 30 damage to your face. This guy is going to continue to buff and give attack randomly, but once he gets up to a certain amount of thorns, I think it's 19, he will non-stop attack you. This guy will continue, the repulsor will continue to put dazed into your drop pile until there's a certain amount. Then once there's a certain amount of dazed in your drop pile, he'll attack you as well. So usually it's good to focus this guy. That's the best one to do. I think the best thing to do here is we're going to go ahead and do something like this. We're going to slap a little bit, something like this, do some AoE damage. That's fine. Because the likelihood that we'd be able to kill this guy is extremely high. So we go ahead and start off with something like this. Pretty good. Hit him with something like this. Quite good. Hit him with something like that. Hit him with something like that. We can draw 2. We draw into a buffer that costs 0, makes our defend cost 0. Intellectual fight. Dude, the Demonata series? I haven't heard about that in a long-ass time, dude. I have done all of that
Never
shit,
played
man.
Slay the Spire, but I have
Yes.
always seen you play it, so might pick it up.
This is the day to do it, my friend. Striker Zone, thank you for the 21 months. I forgot we do have the White Beast statue, so we can get the Dex Potion here. I love it a lot more than the... I like Dex Potion a lot more than the Plated Armor. Also, one thing we can look for right now is an Ancient Potion to pair with the Speed Potion so that we can get a permanent 5 Dexterity for a very hard fight for us. Yeah. None of these cards really interest me at all. Right now, we're not looking for advanced attacks. Losing our focus doesn't appeal to us at all. So we'll skip for now. Doesn't matter. What does Plasma do again? It'll give you 1 energy at the start of your turn. And then if you evoke it, it'll give you 2 energy as soon as you evoke it. All right. Interesting fight here for sure. We're going to go ahead and play this. Get our 0-cost card. Play this. Get another 0-cost card. I think that's great. Play our defend. Gonna draw. Bring back that, because this costed 0 originally. Not from the mummy hand. We can draw another additional card. We're just defending right now, apparently. Defenders of Tomorrow. Not the best use of an Nunchaku, but I'm not super mauling about it. Not gonna lose sleep over it, to be honest. Can just go ahead and just rinse this guy really quickly. Not that big of a deal. Do we want to get our Happy Flower on 2, though? I think so, actually. I do think we would rather have our Happy Flower on 2. Just to min-max, right? We're being intellectual gamers today. Playing the best that we can. I'm hungry. Anyone else hungry? I think 140 block might be enough this turn. Intellectually speaking, of course, you're hungry. A duplication potion, love it a lot more. It'll be really good in a hard fight to get 2 Echo Forms off, 2 Meteor Strikes, a killing blow when we need it. Again, not really looking for any of these advanced strike options. You can take another Sweeping Beam Plus if you're really out there trying to make it happen, Captain. But again, you got to remember we got Snecko-Eye. Low-cost cards, not quite as good. Let's move on. Let's take this shop at 285 gold. We get a motherfucking frozen egg for the rest of the act? For the rest of the thing? We could have everything upgraded? All of our wonders in the world upgraded with this no campfire bullshit act? So Frozen Egg is probably pretty good, making all of the powers that we see for the rest of the thing upgraded. Also, we have exactly 205 gold, and we have exact amount of gold for what you can get. That means that it was meant to happen. Not, it's not gospel to look at, but it's, yeah. Is Calipers Ironclad only? No, Calipers is anywhere. Calipers is anywhere. Just a rare. It's a rare relic, so it's hard to see. Capacitor is another cool thing here. If we had the Barrage, I would consider Capacitor. We don't. Removing a card here, not really we're not really worried. We still draw our entire deck in 4 turns because of Snecko-Eye plus all of our draw options. It makes it even faster. Not super worried about that. Yeah, we could take the Waffle. Not really looking for max HP increase right now. We got 80. We're pretty big. Yeah, I think Frozen Egg here is nasty. Nasty. And we do have to go for the Burning Elite, unfortunately, so we got to go the hard way. Hard path it is, boys. 1 in the chat if you are hard. Yeah. I'm going to play the turbo here so that we can get off not just one of our ball lightnings, but two of our ball lightnings. Now we got raining lightning down. Hard for knowledge. True. Yeah, also my very hot professor. So our options here, since we're getting hit for so fucking much, I think is honestly to try to kill one of these guys if we can. Honestly, using our duplication potion here is probably going to be very good. It's going to give us our Nunchaku proc, as well as we draw into our Meteor Strike, which doesn't actually save us all that much. Is it better to use... I think it's better to do this. We were hoping for that. Now we can use some of our mana on blocking, which is good. So let's skim. We run into... Fuck. We still have to take 11 damage here. Unless we use another potion. Big. Now we don't take any damage here. Are the gliders wearing suits this stream too? Yes. 100%. This guy will respawn this turn. Not that big of a deal. We still full block. This guy dies to death. Good. Dead to death. We get a flex potion, which could be really good as soon as we find that fucking barrage that we want. Another turbo, not really looking at it. Leap plus, not really fucking with it. Streamline, not really fucking with it. Yeah. Can I explain that fight mechanic? Yeah, so if you kill one of them, they'll regen after 2 turns. They give you 1 turn of being dead, and then they'll respawn after that. They only get 2 frost orbs because one was regenning. Yes, when they're regenning, they're technically considered dead via the fight mechanics. Melter's very good right now. Nothing like one shot in a baseball on turn 1, eh, chat? I am not a fan of baseball. Baseball can suck my ass. Yeah, baseball sucks. That's what Melter was made for. That's what the beta art says. All right, good shit. We're still not worrying about the Happy Flower right now. It's not super bad. A Storm, though, I think is crazy good. Whenever you play a power, channel a Lightning Orb, and then it'll combo with the Mummy Hand. We'll also draw this on turn 1 with our Echo Form plus 5 other cards. We also get an Essence of Darkness, which will fill up every orb slot that we have with a Dark Orb. It will evoke all the orbs that we currently have. So it's really good for a get-out-of-jail-free card on a good turn. So yeah, let's take a Storm. Going into the Burning Elite. Again, Burning Elite is the Elite plus a little bit else. Could be max HP, which is usually the most dangerous. Increased attack, which is good. Or hard against multi-attack targets like the Nemesis. It can be regen, metallicize. And we do get one of the hardest ones, which is the... very fucking angry... Nemesis, Monka. Okay. Yeah, it's safe to say Monka S here, chat. It's okay to say Monka S. If you were thinking right now, Tristan, am I Monka and am I S'ing? Yes. I would also Monka S right now. Yes. Of course, he does the big attack turn 2, like he always does. That's what you expect from this clown. Absolute piece of fucking shit. That took a little bit of damage here. I'm going to go ahead and use this potion, actually. It's on a bad turn, but I want it to be available for this turn. All the Dark Orbs, like, opened up for this turn so that we can rinse this motherfucker like the pussy bitch that he is. How much damage do we do? This is 52 damage, plus evoking all of these orbs, which is 39 plus 39. So 39 plus 39 is 40 plus 40 minus 2, which is 80. Minus 2 is 78. 78 plus 52, roundabout a lot of fucking damage. Eat shit, cunt. We get a Bird face turn, which is whenever you play a power, you heal for 2 HP. Please and thank you. That's very poggy of you to give me that. And we get an amplify, which means we can play more powers. That seems awesome to me. Amplify is fucking good. You could also consider a consume here. Honestly, could consider consume. Do we like consume? Is consume Omega Poggers? Yeah, consume is Omega Poggers. Consumes is pretty good. Now, do we want to go for another elite fight? The answer is an overwhelming Poggy. All right, so killing that guy is good. We just need to kill and then block for that. That's our goal right now. Kill that motherfucker and then block for the rest. So I think we open up right now with a double chill. Poggers. Then we go ahead and drop this bad boy. Omega Poggers. Now we can guarantee to kill that guy. We've already blocked for that guy. We're in fucking good shape, man. Tristan, have you been working out? Because you're looking in good shape. No, I haven't actually been working out, though, chat. Thank you for the compliment. I do appreciate it a lot. And we go back to full HP, get a fear potion to boot. You know, Equilibrium's not terrible. I would take it if it was upgraded. Actually, considering that it's with Snecko Eye, it's both good because it could cost 0, but also bad because you could keep a hand... You could, like, need to block, right? And you could play it to block and then keep a card, keep a hand around that sucks balls. So, yeah, I think Equilibrium is pretty bad. Again, we're going over it. We don't need to go over again why these extra strike cards are that good. And now we go here. We heal back up to full. We're going to upgrade our Consume because that's Omega Poggers. We're going to go to this chest here. Remember, we unfortunately have to take this, which is fine because we only have 1 campfire left and we're going to have to take the other key. It's worth considering Equilibrium for the sole consideration of keeping Capacitor for double casting it. It's not... You're not wrong. You're not super wrong. So there's actually a line here. There's a line here that is interesting. It is to play this. Okay, so we actually have to play Echo Form. It does still give us the zero cost thing. The plan was there if it drew something that costed 0, you could then guarantee to make Echo Form cost to 0, but don't want to take the risk there. We don't have to. This fight should be pretty easy once we start to scale up. Go ahead and play our buffer twice. That should allow us to get to into the danger zone. Let's grab you, because I'm not super keen right now. Let's do this. I'm not super keen on not dual casting my capacitor in this fight. So once we draw a capacitor, we want to make sure it's able to be casted twice. Poggers. Do you evoke when losing orbs? No. You only evoke an orb when it's the rightmost and then it gets pushed off. The consuming will consume your leftmost orb. Good question though. Poggers question, my friend. You are Poggers. Congratulations. You're Poggers. Never punished? Why would I ever be punished? I've never been a bad boy, as they call it. I have never had anyone refer to me as a naughty boy. We do take 1 damage here to trigger our buffer, but that's fine. The way the head fight works, by the way, is whenever you play a card, the giant head receives 10% more damage from the attacks. So it's obviously good to be playing your attacks later on in the turn if you can. If you can't, right, if you've got other things that you're doing, it's all good. We're all chilling. Dual cast the consume, and it just gets rid of our orbs that we already took care of, right? Because we already gained the energy. It's not like it's going to take back the energy that we just gained. No! You consumed the orbs, let me take back the energy. It's not going to do that, actually, so don't need to mauled about it, chat. We can actually, like, turn our brain off a little bit to this fight because we have the buffer stacks, and there's no way that we're not going to kill him in the next 2 turns. Calipers. We would like a calipers here. We get the courier that also starts with a C. Big. Not the best. And I do like liquid bronze, really good into the heart fight, so we're going to go ahead and just keep that one around. A cool-headed is great. A little bit extra draw could cost 0. Could be made to cost 0. Pretty good. Let us move on. Come also starts with C. Yeah. And come gang. Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you for explaining that you were just talking about come gang. That's what the whole thing was, is that we were talking about come gang. I understand now that you've told me that you were talking about come gang. That makes complete sense now. That you were just talking about come gang. Sure. Everything that you've said now makes sense. Good job. Yeah, we have definitely reached brain turning offing points. The only thing that can make us turn our brain off even more is if after this fight we see an Echo form, and of course I seeded this run beforehand today, so I know for a fact that we're going to see it, and everyone's going to be like, oh my god, how did he call it? When in reality, I knew from the start, so dumbass, you know? A good teacher always plans his lessons, Smile. Is this the first run I started earlier today? Yes. Oh. I didn't see this chat. Capacitor is really good because that means that we can now use our consume more to make more focus and then Poggy Woggy and Poggy stuff. Okay. Now, going to a shop here is not going to be like Omega fucking Poggers. So I think that we avoid going to a shop and we look for more methods in order for us to actually gain gold, like fights, which could be this path. We can see more cards, and then we could have a better shop in Act 4. I don't think that the shop here is going to be all that good. Take the shop, remove strikes. No. I don't think that we need to worry about removing the strikes right now. They are bulking our hand a little bit, or our deck a little bit, but with Snecko Eye, again, it really doesn't matter. We've got Snecko Eye plus 1 draw, 2 draw, 3 draw, 4 draw, 5 draw. I'd probably miss 6 draw. We've got a lot of fucking draw. So I think we're okay. Duplicate a card in my... An intellectual might say that it's really good to duplicate the claw in your deck. But the smartest person that you've ever met, me, Frost Prime, intellectually speaking, would say to duplicate the Echo form. Will the second one be bottled? No, it won't. No. It does not bottle the new one. It does upgrade it, though, because we had Frozen Eye. So it does upgrade it, which means that this one has its own benefits, but it's not bottled. Yeah, let's go take more fights. Professor, I am hard and about to bust a nut. Completely understandable. You know what? Actually, this is the perfect time to use the power potion here so that we can grab this biased cog and make our meteor strike cost 0. Biased cock, yes. Yes. Yes! Oh my god, chat, give me your biased cock! Ha! All right, now we have 3 Echo Forms, which means that this will now be dual casted as well. Which means that this will now be dual casted as well, which means we can now play this. We have 11 energy, by the way, just in case anyone was keeping track of the amount of energy that we have. Pretty good stuff. A focus potion seems great. None of these cards are all that interesting. At this point, you're just looking for like something to tippy top off the deck and not just to over flood it with garbage. So the fusion is not even considerable in my opinion. You could think about it, but then as long as you think about it and end up thinking, wow, that's a bad card, I shouldn't take it, then we're thinking correctly. So good job thinking. What would be the worst boss here? Definitely 100% a bad draw Time Eater or Awakened One. But I still think that we're Omega Poggers no matter what we do, because we have each other, chat. At the end of the day, we're together, okay? And don't forget that. You have me, and I have your donations and gifted subs. So, chat, by the way, it's empty your bit wallets o'clock, so if you guys just real quick, you know, if you're just not busy at the moment, if you got something to do, I understand, but like if you could just it's empty bit wallets o'clock, not give me 1 bit RTD. Unless that was the only bit that you had, but you bragged about it auto refilling. Spirit, thank you very much for the 8 months. I appreciate you.
I bring the bits and the 8 months into this relationship.
Oh my god.
Gotcha.
Thank you. Thank you for the bits. Thank you for getting me. Oh no, chat, he's at 2 HP. Whatever will he do?
And here are your bitties.
Thank you. Thank you for the biddies. We get an Entropic Brew. Not very interested in Entropic Brew. And I'm not interested in any of these. It's a little bit too late for Genetic Algorithm. Honestly, if I had seen Genetic Algorithm like here, probably would have taken it. Because even with Echo Form, we could stack it up. But it's definitely not worth it to take it right now. You could do the math on it, and it's like it would go to 3
Frost
and then
is
5 here.
Out of my lunch
then in the
bits.
second fight,
Gonna
it
be
would
so
go to
for the 4th act.
7 and 9, and then in the Act 3 Elite fight, it would go to 11. It would go 11 plus 13, so it would go to 13. And so then it would still be like a decent amount of block, but that's only if you get them Echo Formed every single time, which means you're not Echo Forming a better card. So, not Omega Poggers. And here, there's 2 really good upgrades here of Meteor Strike, just increasing the damage of it, or
College
your cool-headed.
professors have already basically stolen my money, but they're not usually this forward about it.
Oh, recall. True, we do have to recall. You're right, we have to recall. Recalling is very intellectually smart.
Biddies, boys.
Yeah. Recalling is probably intellectually, intelligently, poggy-woggily the best play for us to do there. Intelligently speaking. This is a very annoying fight, actually. The best play is to go defend, stack Echo Form, and see, hopefully it makes one of our powers cost 0, but this is really Monka, boys. It did, at least. Oh my god, we fucking goddamn heckin' balls on the wieners. Okay. Alright. I don't think we use our focus potion here, but we had to take off the glasses for that one, boys. Alright, we're good. Get 2 more Echo Forms into the mix. Go ahead and draw our entire fucking deck. We have to remember here that whatever we play is still going to be dual casted. So we could dual cast this, but then we're at 11. So we need to like really, really care about what we're playing and when we play it. Consume here is not a terrible play, actually. I'm actually not opposed to going down to 1 orb slot. And then getting 1 fat, big, fat, throbbing thing off. This is an easy turn. What does Time Eater do exactly? Anytime you play 12 cards in between every single turn, he will end your turn automatically, increase his strength, and then start smacking you even more. Not looking that bad, boys. Give us a bunch of energy going into the next turn. Even gonna hit him with one of these. Actually, this is 10, 11, 12. Yeah, that's perfect. Sounds like a bitch. He's a very methodical fight. You can't just kind of play your cards willy-nilly. I don't really want to dual cast another Meteor Strike. It would get rid of all of our orbs. I mean, we could if we did the Meteor Strike. We could probably play another 12 cards this turn, but I'm not super wanting to do that. Not really wanting to. This blocks for 2 out of the 3 hits, so we're in a really good spot just doing this. All right, we get to play 3 cards twice next turn. Good. Not awful, not great. I don't think do we play Consume here? I think we want to draw first. No, I don't think we play Consume. I think this is fine to do something like this. Let's draw a bunch of cards. That's exactly what we fucking want. That's what we wanted. Look at our block. It says 69. That's a fucking Poggy number. Intellectually speaking, of course, it's a Poggy number, by the way. Just intellectually speaking. Oh, yeah, he's going back to half HP here. I literally wasn't paying attention. The way the time meter works is when you put him below half HP, he's going to reduce all his debuffs, and then he's going to go back to half HP. Wasn't paying attention. Too focused on the 69. It's completely understandable. No one's going to blame me for that. Okay, people in the YouTube comments are going to blame me for that. Holy shit, by the way, the amount of people in the fucking YouTube comments that are like, Tristan, you really need to think better on this one turn at 72 minutes into the game. You blah, 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 blah. All right, we have reached a point, chat, where I could probably just press E and never think about the game ever again, but that'd be stupid. Yep. We intellectuals don't do that. YouTube backseaters, Pogo. Like, I love the people to death, man, but, like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I love you as a person, but I don't give a shit about what you're telling me I should have done at this point of this run. Respectfully, of course. Press C Simulator? No, I'm pretty sure when he vulnerables us, it's not Press C Simulator anymore. Yeah. Now it's kind of Press C Simulator. Hit! All right. We do have Nunchaku primed up. Didn't really get our Happy Flowers super in order, but as long as this is Donu and Deku, we all type Pog. Fuck my asshole raw. Okay. Intellectually, of course, by the way. Can you explain why this is a bad fight? This guy gets +2 strength every single time that you play a power. We play a lot of powers. All right, let's see what we got. Definitely actually going to use this focus potion, 1,000,000,000%. Is there a way for us to block this turn? 9 + 9 + 5. That's 23 block. Not getting there. Caveat, though.
Subscribing.
All you do, you sweeping beam, get +1 energy back. That's really bad, actually. I actually think here, chat, we have to play buffer and hope that it gives us consume at 1. And if it doesn't, we have to play Storm and hope this gives us Consume at 1. This is bad. That's the worst outcome that we possibly could have had. This is, yeah, this is Monka S, boys. This is Monka S territory. Point precision. Thank you for the 5. We're going to play out of our minds. But sometimes, chats, even the best minds of the world poop twice a day. Sometimes, if they're healthy, and they... Yeah. I don't really want to draw into my second Echo Form. I really want to play it twice. Okay. So, what are the odds here that we can not only play Echo Form twice, but that we then play Capacitor twice, and then we draw into Sweeping Beam, and we draw Reinforced Body and get to play it for a 1,000,000 block? Not the worst thing in the world. So I think that we are going to bring back a... Do we have anything that costs 0 and draws? I think it's Skim. We skim it out.
That's not true. Pooping up to once every 3 days is normal.
It actually is. Yeah, he's right. Okay. We have successfully blocked, chat. Good for us. I would refer to that as a Poggy-Woggy fight that we just played. Would you agree with me, chat? Would you agree that we played this fight quite Poggy-Woggy-ly? We did get double-decker dicked at some point. At some points of the fight. I think that's okay. We do have 2 voids coming up. Hopefully we draw them on this turn. Like I said, hopefully we draw a void this turn. Nice! What are the odds of drawing a second void? Damn. Okay. We still have a buffer charge. We do still have 1 whole buffer that we could use sometimes, maybe. All right, we could think about Consume here, chat. Let's think about Consume really quickly, out loud. If we were to Consume, we make all of our orbs deal 3 more damage, which is a total net gain. It's a total net gain of 9, but then we lose 12. But it's 9 more per turn. And then these also block more. So I think we do go boom, 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 and then we just do it once. We don't want to do it twice. We just do it once. Just once. Just once. And now we can just end our turn anytime that he's doing this bullshit, dummy, stupid attack. He heals for 15, but we deal 45. This is 28 times 3. We're current for blocking for 28 times 2. I would like to not get rid of all of my orbs, so I think doing this is better. And doing that is poggy. That was pretty poggy. I liked that. Again, don't really want to use my Consume again. If we had gotten our 1 capacitor off a couple of times, that would have been super nice. Nice, nice, nice. Go ahead and go boom. Boom. Go ahead and go boom. Boom! Later, skater. Or should I say, Idiot. Dumb idiot. Intellectually speaking, of course. Now we have 148 gold going into the Act 4. So we should be able to remove a card if we really need to, buy a potion that could help us in the Act 4 leads. Also, we can actually upgrade at this campfire. Don't need to take the key here. What's the point of the heart damage at the end? It's just your score for the run. After you beat the heart, you'll see the score again. It's just the score. You get more score if you like don't take damage versus elites, don't take damage versus bosses. If you take 4 of one card, it's called a collector bonus. Yeah, it's just how well you did in the run. And also, it's like that damage that's under the heart is like a collective damage that everyone's done over time. I think it's broken at this point, but... All right, Meteor Strike is really, really good just to get a bunch of extra damage on it. Cool Headed's really good because it will draw a bunch of extra stuff. I think I'm going to go with Cool Headed, so it'll draw me an extra card. Why not Echo Form? It's bottled in our opening hands, and we have Mummy Hands. Super necessary. Oh. So, Mirror will allow us to duplicate any card in our deck. Chat's saying triple Echo Form. I'm saying, chat, no, that's bad. That's not bad. It's actually to take another capacitor
All the echo
so that we can then use consume more often. Way cooler. It's way cooler. Intellectually speaking. I know that towards the end of this over-explained run, I haven't been super over-explaining. That's because I'm tired and my voice hurts. I hope you understand. Let's feed together. Thank you for the brand new Prime, man. I appreciate you. Why not Storm Plus? Because right now our deck is not hurting super hard in the beginning of the game. And I think that against the Spire Shield and Spire thing, you really want to have a good early game, especially since they give you those 2 burns on turn 2. And does, like, 40 damage to the guy on the right. So having a worse turn 1 by putting another Storm in our opening hand, by cluttering our opening hand to not be able to get another better card. I mean, it could be good, too, because Double Storm could, like, kill things, right? You could just murder the entire run. But I think against the Heart, you playing another capacitor to be able to consume a bunch more times is just omega cool. All right. Again, none of the decisions I'm saying are absolutely 100% of the time correct. I'm just going off based what I feel is correct every single time that I play, right? We actually want to draw something first so that whenever we Echo Form, it'll make something else cost 0. Which is cool. Also, they're both attacking on turn 1, which is quite a bit of damage, unfortunately. The chill is good now, too, because they did decide both to attack on turn 1. We can chill, then we can Meteor Strike. We can attack to draw a bunch of stuff, attack to draw a bunch of stuff. Capacitor. Again. It's okay. We do heal a little bit, don't forget. We're not super in danger. We are in danger, but not super danger. You know what I'm saying? We can deal a metric fuck ton of damage to this guy. I don't see why we don't just do that. All right, now we can focus on healing by playing our powers multiple times with Birdface turn, which is really, really good. Fortunately, we're only going to get this one off once. Do we care all that much? I think we actually do, and we want to be a little scrutinistic of it. I think that's okay. Yeah, I think we are allowed to scrutinize our HP just a little bit and wait until we can dual cast that buffer to get an extra 2 HP and min-max just a little bit. Also, we can try to set up our Happy Flower, which actually, if we can kill this turn, works perfectly. I don't know how easily we'll be able to kill this turn, but I'm sure as hell wanting to find out. I'm going to go for the double draw, even though over the double damage. It doesn't look like we're going to be able to kill this turn. It's okay. unfortunate. All right, now how much do I want my thing to be on? I think we do want our that to be on 2. So if we do nothing right now, we should eventually be able to keep our nunchaku and then at least get this on 1, even if we kill him this turn. But it doesn't look like we're gonna have to kill him this turn. Is he gonna do the fucking big block again? You cunt. This bitch. Melter? Yes, but Melter, chat, will ruin our nunchaku. That's what I am wanting to care about. But I think we care about Happy Flower more than nunchaku. So I think we will do it. I was thinking. I'm using my brain and I'm thinking. All right, we're going to 74 HP. We get Blue Candle, which doesn't do fucking anything. Liquid Memories is great. It does help us heal in the middle of the fight, but I'm not super wanting it. I am going to take this Bullseye, I think. Stealing a little bit of extra damage to the heart might be super good. Or being able to... I think it's between Bullseye and Reinforced Body. Because Reinforced Body is really good block on maybe turn 2 when we get a bunch of damage coming our way. I think we're not lacking on damage, especially with our liquid bronze. I like Body a little more, yeah. We're up to 76 HP at the start of this. You do have to be careful here, because if you play the buffer and then you take the beat of the heart damage, it fucks you. It does fuck you. It will remove your buffer, which is really, really good for the turn 2. Does the heart scale? Yes, very much so. The heart will scale first by doing a bunch of debuffs to you, and then we'll slowly scale its strength for a couple of turns, and then rapidly scale its strength to dealing 20 times 15. Yes, it does. All right, so let's play very carefully. Let's go like this. We definitely want to do this. Then do a little bit of that. Drawing into Consume, not Omega Poggers, but whenever we play this buffer, it is actually going to guarantee us able to play Consume. So that's good. Because if it makes the dual cast cost 0, we just play Meteor Strike. Then we dual cast. And we Consume. And we still get our buffer stacks. We still get Consume. What is his max attack? I think dealing like 1,300 damage, which is impossible to block, so you're just dead. So that's about his max attack. Okay, so unfortunately here, it looks like we're not going to be able to use our buffer stacks next turn, maybe. Blocking for that much is quite a lot. Yeah, we do want to use our Thorns Potions, of course, yeah. Yeah, this is quite unfortunate for sure. I think it might be time to use our Liquid Memories. Because I really don't want to have to use this if I don't have to. I kind of want to use my Liquid Memories and bring back my Leap so that I can draw more cards, but I don't know what I'm going to draw into that's really going to help me. I mean, one of my Reinforced Bodies would be fantastic, but... I think it's just going to use our buffer stacks, and there's not a whole hell of a lot that we can do about it. I'm not worried about us dying here. I'm more of just upset that we have to do it. I wonder if it's worth to draw, though. I wonder if it's worth to use our stuff to draw, and then we could set up for a Nunchaku next turn. But, like, maybe Liquid Memories can be used far better next turn or something. It's really up in the air. Could also bring back our Consume and Consume again right now. I would use our buffer, though. Yeah. I think if this was Skim, I would allow to use that. But I'm not going to. We're just going to end the turn. We get the Void out of the deck, which is somewhat of a positive. All right, and here comes 67 damage. Which we most definitely will be able to block for, which is nice. Do we care about getting that dual-casted Capacitor off here? I don't think so, actually. I think it's literally just play this twice and pass. I think we very much care about that. We have another Capacitor in the deck. We'll be okay. There's our other capacitor. And now I think is a really good time to bring back our consume. Do that again. Can you perfect the heart? Yeah, you can. Is it easy? No, it's not. No, it is not at all. All right, pretty easy turn here. Play that. Go like this. Bring back that. I don't even think we need to bring back... I mean, right now it's 4 mana and it's going to be dual casted. Like, that's so much. So let's just bring back something that can... I mean, honestly, maybe just even a cold snap. Consume again? No, we need something that costs a little. Well, no, because we have to play this. We want to bring something back that costs us 0. So we'll bring back this. Actually, we could bring back the turbo. Here's a play. We bring back turbo. We go like this. Then we play this. We play that. We draw a bunch with our skim. See if there's anything Omega cool to play. We could play our turbo and draw 2 cards. Yeah, sure. Because we just shuffled our deck, so that void's long gone down there. Get a little bit of extra damage off. Eat shit, heart. Not terrible. Here comes the 4 times 15 attack. I think a really easy play here is hologram, bring back turbo and reinforced body. Dual cast the turbo, dual cast the reinforced body. Probably could have done a little bit of damage beforehand, but I actually think 140 block is poggy, so eat shit, chat. I am going to do a little bit of damage with the dual cast as well. I think that's good. We also have the Thorns damage playing a massive role in this. Big, some might even say. I think that playing 2 Meteor Strikes here, it would do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think it's actually really good. Because with all the voids that we might draw in the coming turns, I think that it's good to have extra energy for our reinforced bodies. Don't want to actually put out another... I want our block orbs. What gave me Thorns? A potion that we kept around for a while. And there's the reinforced body. Do we want to play Consume here? I think we do. Consume is fine. Take 4 damage. It's okay. From 6 times 15, we're currently blocking for 2 times 15. 6 times 15 is 90, right? And this takes care of that. Can we play Meteor Strike first? Goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. Oh, my bad. You're just fucking dead. Hey. Hey, Heart. Are you I don't think you're playing I think you're playing Overwatch because Meteor Strike.
YouTube boys. This content that you're watching right now has officially been given the Twitch chat seal of awesome content that you should come and watch the stream. Or they're just doing the chat triggers at random times like they do all the time. And I'm just standing out here looking like an idiot.
That was a 3-hour run. For me, that's a long fucking time, man. My God.